What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Unfiltered Tarot Live. I swear I thought I turned the phone down, but I'm in the chat. That's what the phone was for. And I'm looking forward to pulling some cards. Hope you're doing well. It's Thursday, May 27th, 2021. What a day it was today. We had a T-square to Neptune with the moon, Venus in square, Mercury's in square, Venus, Mercury. Lots of astrology in between just having that lunar eclipse, heading towards a solar eclipse with a Mercury retrograde cazimi. Quite the time to be around, right? Well, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to pull cards for all 12 signs, see what's in store. Got a couple people in the chat, so hopefully some more people join up and we get a good show and a good time going here. So looking forward to it. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I'm going to run the spread that I've been running. It's a little one that I created. It's like an astrological tarot spread with basically off the planets from the sun to Saturn. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see where the tarot takes us on this, very Neptunian times that we live in, even Mars in trine to Neptune. So let's see. Oh, we also have the moon just coming into Capricorn as we're doing this, and it is sextile Jupiter. So this is probably one of the best times that, we could run a tarot show and do some channeling. I'll be honest. So see what comes through, and let's see what the first sign's going to be for tonight. Got some new, looks like Scorpios first. Scorpio. Scorpio. So I'm getting a little flow here. Getting a little flow. What's up, Mark? Happy to see you in here. If Cancer comes up here for you anytime soon. Scorpio first, though. We'll see what goes on with Scorpios. It's interesting. Scorpios are having these eclipses in their second and eighth house axis, so it's like really bringing up some Scorpio times, especially the solar eclipse on June 10th, going to be in that eighth house, and the lunar is just in the second house. So Scorpios are learning what really is valuable and what they need to let go of. Typical Scorpio stuff. Always had to let something go, and they never want to let it go. Not if it's power or money. One of my best friends growing up is a Scorpio. Loves his money. Gosh, that guy loves money. He's good at getting it, too. He's a 8th house Scorpio. All right, let's see what's up, Scorpio. Let's see what's illuminated for you this week. Got the Knight of Cups coming out. So seems like it's a good time to be feeling, confident within yourself, actually. So maybe there's a lot of uncovered power within that Scorpio axis right now, that second and eighth house axis for these eclipses. So maybe you're feeling like you have a little bit more confidence emotionally, or feeling like you have a little bit more emotional courage than possibly before. Or maybe that's what's being illuminated, is some of that needs to come up and be expressed more just within yourself. What are you feeling? The Six of Pentacles reversed. Wow, okay, so maybe it's almost like you need to find out, your true inner power, because maybe you're feeling like a little bit of the charity case right now. Maybe you're feeling like you're giving more than you're getting back, with that Six of Pentacles reversed. I feel like that's sort of the charity case card. That's like not where you're in a position to give, but like you need to find your inner confidence this week through these eclipses, so that you're not, putting too much out there for everybody. Maybe you need to make sure that, I'm sorry, I need to turn this music down. It's just too much. It's just too much. So, don't be the charity case, especially if you need to channel your courage right now and you're trying to go deeper into, your, as Christopher Witecki would say, soul capital, especially having a lunar eclipse in your second house right now. Like you're trying to muster up a lot of confidence, a lot of, self-worth, and you can't just give if you're not in a place where you're feeling good about yourself. So maybe this is this eclipse cycle right now where you're really finding your confidence. You're really finding what you want to be intimate with. And you're learning, too, maybe where you need to give or take. And are you giving too much so that you're not able to give to yourself? That's a good question to ask, Scorpio. Well, you got the Four of Swords reversed coming out for the Mercury card here. So, yeah, it seems like I don't know. I feel like you're feeling confident enough, and I feel like you're understanding. I think the Four Swords reversed. It's upright. It's more like you kind of need to go in and rest and take a little break. And I think here reversed, it's like you got a Mercury retrograde taking place in your eighth house here this week too. So there's a lot going on. Um, you need to understand your inner courage right now and how you know how you're finding your power, what's keeping you going right now, like what are the best investments in life. And I don't think it's necessarily by just taking time off. I think the overall here is like inner courage needs to come out, and it's probably because you've been giving too much out to something else, whether it's another person in your life. I mean, eighth house deals with a lot with other people too, especially Six of Pentacles there with the Moon card. What's Venus saying? The High Priestess reversed. I don't know, Scorpio. It seems like you're not paying attention to the signs. You're not paying attention to your intuition either, and you might actually know it too. You probably have a good understanding of like what needs to be said or expressed so that you can step on to that, like get on the saddle here when it comes to your courage and what is going to give you more emotional body armor almost, but at the same time, you're still giving too much and not listening to your intuition that's trying to show you where the real feel-good energy is. And especially with partnerships and having that Venus card be the High Priestess reversed, you're giving too much to someone else right now. And you are, and you're not listening to the signs. And you need to like speak up and not just hide behind something right now. So I think mentally you need to have some sort of conversation, but you're not putting yourself in a position to step up to the plate. What's the Mars card? Your ruling planet. One of them. Another reversal. We got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. It's like you see where I think you have a good understanding of where things need to change up and switch in your life to have something great, but you need to find the confidence within yourself right now. And that's what these eclipses are helping with. And I think that's ultimately what this tarot spread is showing too. It's like you need to really make sure you're giving yourself the ultimate right now so that you can merge and you can find that inner strength and power right now to have a physical life that you really do feel intimately connected to, that you feel like you have the abundance you're looking for. And you're not, I don't think you're listening to your intuition. There's a lot of reversals. Like the only that we got the Sun card, the Knight of Cups upright, but everything else is a reversal for you. So I don't know, Scorpio. Let's go see what Jupiter's saying. Ace of Wands. Yeah, the good luck is seriously in you like grabbing a hold of what makes sense from your heart and going in that direction. Like taking the baton that your heart wants and expressing it fully, having the conversations, not just being the charity case, but making sure that you're putting letting your heart guide the way. Because that's where the intuition's trying to show you where things are at too, like with Venus, and that's very heart chakra related too. Like, you got to trust your intuition and speak from your heart. And if you're not in a place where you're doing that, then you're being a charity case right now, and you're not, having some sort of equal, give and take when it comes to whatever it is in life. I feel like it's a person. I'll be honest, Scorpio. So you need to, not just give too much to someone else right now. I know you want to merge. I know Scorpios, love to get in there with other people, but you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself and like putting on your own armor to feel secure within yourself right now. And I think that that's where the good luck is. It's like when you step into your heart fully, you're going to be able to, go at it with all the creative wisdom and power in the world right now, whatever it may be. But you can't just give outside of yourself right now. You're not putting yourself number one, which is taking from your confidence, I feel like. And Saturn's given the Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay, well, Saturn's saying, like, look, it's time. Saturn just went retrograde, too, in your 4th house. So I think, it's time to find your security within yourself and, get up out of the cold and pick your head up. So this seems like a good time where Saturn's like, yo, you got to boss up, Scorpio, and like, not be a charity case. Pick your head up. Get out of any weird position within yourself right now. There's big things. Like, you're finding your inner strength, your inner courage in a huge way right now. And I think that you really do understand it, but you have to, like, initiate some sort of conversation. And trust that your intuition was taking you in the right place the whole time, because that's where the feel-good energy is at, is like, gosh, and nothing's worse than a Scorpio that doesn't trust their intuition. Like, straight up. So don't, kick that to the curb right now, Scorpio. That's one of your best friends. And it's trying to pick you up out of the cold. It's trying to get you into a place of feeling good, like getting out of some place of down low feeling. So I think Scorpio's really, getting in a place right now where they're finding courage. They're illuminating a lot of courage. But there's things in life, and I think it's people. There's someone else, around you that's ultimately not giving you a fair energy exchange with something in life, whether it's a relationship or not. But it's almost like you know it. You know it 100%, but you're almost still there. You're still giving some sort of energy to someone that is not fair to you. You can't make this up. 8th house, endings, beginnings. Yeah, something needs to end for you. And you're having a solar eclipse here in your 8th house of Gemini, June 10th. Like, it's definitely time that something's ending and something's beginning. So, you can sit and, like, stress and worry yourself to death about what's leaving, or you can just, you likely already know what it is. I feel like it's somebody. I'll be honest, this relationship just makes me feel like it's either somebody or a job. So it's either you've been giving too much to a job that doesn't make you happy, or you've been giving too much to a person that doesn't make you happy, and it's time to cut that, because there's something better for you. There's something that's going to be worth more. It's going to be more valuable. Jupiter, Capricorn, 9th house. Well, we got a falled out Jupiter in Capricorn, but it is in the 9th house. So, I think you need to get serious about where things are taking you in life right now, and, like, pay attention to your intuition. Like, you need to boss up with your intuition right now, Scorpio, because you haven't been listening to it, and it's trying to show you something better and something more connected, whether it's relationship, job, or anything in life right now. I feel like it's a person. I'll be honest. More than a job. But there's a lot of coins that came up in this reading, pentacles. So, and even Jupiter here with the Ace of Wands, that's like a new love story. Like, if you're in some love story right now that's trash, like, there's very Jupiter and Capricorn, like, no gift, like, just restricted of gifts. Jupiter and Capricorn can be great if you boss up for something, in your life. And Saturn's even saying you gotta pick yourself up, kid. You gotta pick yourself up with the Five of Pentacles. So there's gifts out there, but it's once you get serious about where your journey's going, and making sure that you're trusting your intuition and not, just going on someone else's journey, whether it's whatever, if it makes you feel secure. It's we're not in a time of security, Scorpio. So you gotta break out of that. Well, that was fun first reading. Hope some Scorpios, some Scorpios tune into that, because fun times. All right, is there anybody in here? What's up, Allie? Azriel Vicious, iClown. Cool. Well, glad there's some people up in here. Let's see who's next. In the cup of sun signs. Oh, Capricorn. Up next. All right, Cappies. I'll be honest, Capricorn. as I put up your sign here. It's not. I'm a Capricorn too, in case anybody was wondering. It's rough out there, having eclipses in your 12th and 6th house axis, and Cancers are going through it too. So Cancer Capricorn axis right now, 12th, 12th 6th house for the eclipses. That's a lot. It's like a lot of unseen, a lot of, it can be anxious energy. And you got to kind of ground, and it's reality changing too. So where's the reality changing, Cap? You got to be willing, you got to be mutable. I know you like to get things done and start things, but what wasn't working now? And you following the signs of the universe, or are you going to try and flex on the universe? And I think the universe will outflex you. Let's see though. Let's see what the cards have to say, Cappies. I hope you're doing well out there. I know, I'll be honest, for me this week, like, I had to disconnect a little bit. I've been definitely like taking some time off, taking some me time. I've been going to the river the last few days. That's where I was at today, so I got this river hair. But, if you need to like get back to yourself, especially with a lunar eclipse in the 12th house, and then having a Mercury retrograde in the 6th house, and all the squares to Neptune in your 3rd house, and the solar eclipse with a Mercury retrograde in your 6th house. Like, Cap, your reality's changing, your daily life's changing. You can't fight it. You got to go with the flow, Cap. So let's see what these tarot cards are going to say. And hopefully it's some good news, Cappies. Let's see. This is good news, Cappies. Good news, Cappies. All right. What's being illuminated? Ace of Pentacles. Literally, it's a new reality that's coming in, right? So don't be worried, Don't stress too much. I feel like Caps can be stressing themselves out. Like, oh gosh, like, do I have to change job? Do I have to change career? Maybe there is a change. But you know what? Like, are you going to go at like that change with like the mindset even that whatever's closing out in life is the start of something beautiful, the start of something that's going to manifest the way you wanted it to. So I don't think you have to, I would say that's a great card to start this reading with. Like, the illumination is in the beginning of something. So it's okay that, maybe some things are changing, but don't stress about it. Like, I think if anything, be happy. What's the moon's reflection here? It is the Page of Swords. Yeah, more change, right? Very mutable, very Gemini vibe to that card, like, which is your 6th house. So it's like, don't over stress about what's going on with your mind and have that like mess with your feelings. Like, be open to what can come in. Be open to all the options out there. The more open you are to what might be coming in. It could be a job. It could be some form of like finances coming in to like pick you up off your feet. Like, I don't think you need to stress so much, but it's a time where like you can stress yourself things or have just a crazy amount of anxiety hit you out of nowhere. And I think you want to be mutable right now. You want to be able to, look at all the options. I feel like there's a bunch of options on the table right now for Capricorn. It's like some Capricorns are out there just like, no, I don't want them. But like, look at them, because one of those options is going to take fire, and that's going to be, I think that's great. Like, I love that this started off with the Ace of Pentacles. That's great. What's Mercury saying? 9 of Pentacles reversed. So that card's coming out again. It came out for Scorpio last reading. You could be worried about the changes, or worried that you haven't put enough things in the right places in life, or, Saturn retrograde too in your 2nd house, That could have you really like looking at your self-worth and be like, did I do enough? Like, am I worth enough right now? And I think you are. And I think that, the more you get yourself tricked in a weird place, Cap, the less you're going to see some of the beautiful things that are trying to come in right now. And it's a new start. And I think that, you want to just be in a position of looking at the options. You want to, like, that'll feel better. It'll keep you in a more comfortable place. It's like, I have options. If you just, tell yourself you have options. But I feel like Capricorns are going to trick themselves with a 9 of Pentacles here for like the Mind card, the Mercury. gonna kind of like trick themselves and be like, ah, I haven't done enough, or start guilting themselves, and like that's where the anxiety is gonna come into play. And you don't want to get yourself in that position. That's not gonna make you feel good. That's not gonna do you any favors right now. You think you want to have some like youthful energy of like what can come. Like, anyway, what's Venus saying? The Nine of Wands. I think you got to push. You got to keep pushing if you want it. Like, that's going to keep, like, what is your heart pushing for in life? Like, go in that direction. And I think it takes courage. So I think you want to channel that courage right now, because that courage to go in a new direction or to keep pushing for the things that your heart really does want. It's almost like if your heart wasn't in it, you're almost just doing it and going through the motions. Like, that ain't it anymore. You know, that'll keep you in a really weird place mentally. Like, you push in a direction that your heart's feeling it. Like, that's where you want to push the boundaries. That's where you want to channel the courage right now. And I think that's all, the peacock. I love that card, the Nine of Wands in this deck with that peacock, because there's like beautiful things when you kind of push your limits. So I think you need to push your limits to like stop telling yourself that you're not worth the best. You're tricking yourself. Push your limits and say that you're worth the new story you want. You're worth the new job you want. You're worth the new reality you want. Like, that's what Saturn's trying to show you in the second house right now. And it's going to retrograde, and it's not coming back in your first house. Like, this is literally like you bossing up and finding your self-worth. What's Mars saying for you? Four of Swords. Wow, a lot of the same cards for Scorpio. Well, this one's a little different for you. I would say that, like, when it comes to... it's funny, too, because you have Mars in your seventh house right now, and it's trine Neptune. So I feel like you could be trying to do too much for other people, and it's like, are you paying enough attention to like your own rest, your own mind, your own vitality right now? Do you need to like go take a nap, Cap? You probably don't want to. You probably want to go back to work, but like, stop giving everything out to everybody else right now. See your value, see your worth. Focus on, taking a break. I think you need to take a little bit of a break this week. You're already stressed enough with this eclipse axis, I'll be honest. So what do you really want, Cap? You got to go in. If you take a break, you'll get the downloads, you'll get the channel, you'll know exactly what's going to like put you up on a pedestal. It almost reminds me of a pedestal. And then you'll know what to take action on, and then who to take it on, like who to take it for, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, a job, whatever. Like, you'll know where to act, but you need to take a break for a minute. Like, this isn't the time to, just, it's not the time to like try and, be some like save the day kind of hero. This is definitely a time in between eclipses where you got to see what's fated, where the universe is trying to take you. There's really good things trying to open up for you. But I feel like if you just keep going and you're on this grind, you're going to miss some signs. So I think that, Cap, if you can disconnect. I know I mentioned going to the river and stuff. Like, I think that that's a great idea for Cap right now. Like, honestly, if you can kind of disconnect, rest your body, rest your mind, and get back to your own nature, you're going to see where you need to push and where you don't need to push. And it's also going to help you get connected with yourself and stop tricking yourself into thinking that you're not worth some of the most beautiful, best things in life. What's Jupiter saying? The King of Pentacles reversed. Oh my gosh. So Jupiter's over here like saying, look, you got to really boss up. You got to really, get in a position here. Jupiter's going to go retrograde soon too and come back into your second house and be like, hey, if you want all the manifestations, like, this is your last chance. Not really your last chance, but like, you can make them happen. You just have to learn how to manifest. And I think that could be a lot of what this, what Capricorns are going through right now, is like learning how to slow down and get back to how they can manifest without just push. What do you really want? Because it seems like there's something that wants to come in. There's that Ace of Pentacles with the sun that's being illuminated right now. There's new energy. And even the moon getting that Page of Swords. Like, there's so many options on the table right now, but you want to be like youthful. I think you want to be in a place of knowing that you can manifest. So the more the Caps can like come back in and like realize that you have the tools within you, you just can't push in directions that aren't, what your heart wants, for one. Like if you're just pushing for anything, any old thing or any old story right now, that's not going to do it. Like this is a whole new story of your faith and your reality. You got to trust that, you know, they can manifest. So it's like trusting themselves and having like the ultimate faith in themselves right now would be super helpful. And that's kind of what this is like a slowdown to let that new energy in. What's Saturn saying? The sun reversed. Saturn's like, yo, you got to illuminate the life you want. And if you don't see your worth and your value, you're not going to put it out there. Gosh, sun reversed for Saturn. That's like the biggest thing right now is I think Capricorns really need to find what their heart wants and go in that direction 100%. That's where the goodness is. That's where the new story is. That's where it could be a job. It could be all the things that Capricorns might really want. It's actually found by trusting their heart right now. And Caps don't want to do it. And they're like feeling blocked and restricted from their vitality and what their heart wants and what they really want to illuminate. They're too stuck pushing for something that doesn't even make sense. That actually has them feeling like trash. Oh, Cap. This is not the time to feel that way. I'll be honest. This is literally like, that's what you don't want to do. You want to put yourself in a position right now where you can take in the new story. You can take in the abundance. You can push for what your heart wants. So you don't have to push in any direction that your heart isn't telling you have to. And I know there's responsibilities out there, and I know you're super responsible, but you got to be responsible for yourself and like what you truly want to. It's not just what society wants. Let's see what the astrology cards are looking like for you. Maybe this will give us some closure. 4th house. Yeah, roots. You need to get back to how you really feel about yourself. You need to get back to feeling strong within yourself so that you can do what your heart wants, so that you can build what you need to build for a new start, a new future, a new reality. It doesn't have to be a super stressful time. You just have to be secure within yourself. And that security within yourself and you being rooted in your emotional body, within your home life, and just feeling good about you will change everything. And I think that that's ultimately where things are going, is there's new energy trying to show you this new reality. But it's like you get to choose what this reality is going to look like. Is it going to be the reality where you feel like you can have all the things you need because you feel grounded and rooted in your confidence and your worth and your value, and you know exactly what you can build? Or are you feeling lost because you're disconnected from your heart and your faith? Ninth house, Virgo, Mercury. Yeah, this is definitely a time where you have to understand that there's change taking place in your reality, and it's trying to open you up to a new story. And you can get yourself, you can overanalyze the big picture, or you can kind of just go into the story with sort of an open understanding and take in the new philosophy and take in the new wisdom. But you have to use your intuition too. So you can't just, Mercury in the 9th house gets a little, especially in Virgo, it would be a little picky about what the story is going to be. So it's almost like maybe you do need to be a little picky of what the story is going to be, a little picky, but still trust your intuition, and trust your analytical side. And make sure that you're rooting in yourself and you're feeling the confidence and love for yourself so that you can push the boundaries for the new story. Like, I don't think you realize, Cap, how important it is for you to have faith that the new story can change your reality for the better. And it's about, North Node in Gemini in your 6th house here. Like, it is about a change in your reality. It is about a change in your physical life and how you take care of yourself, in your health. So there's a new physical story that's starting up for you, and you have to root into that. And don't keep playing the old story. Like, that cycle's come to an end, so you gotta disconnect from that. All right. It's a lot. It's a lot, Caps. But you're going to make it. You're going to be all right. I got faith. Love you guys. Yeah. Hey, I'm speaking to myself on that Capricorn reading too. Like I'm with you. It's hard. You could talk to any astrologer. Like it's a common thing. Like when you go through your 12th, 6th house eclipse, like that's hard. In my opinion, 12th, 6th and first, 7th are like, and they kind of come after each other, right? Those are hard eclipse cycles. So you're almost out of it, Cap. You're almost out of it, but last year. So let's see who's next. Gemini. All right, Geminis. Happy birthday. Happy eclipse season. I'll be honest, oh gosh, I feel like Geminis are going through it right now too. And that's that other thing is like Geminis are going through the first and 7th house eclipse cycle too, and I've been seeing a lot of friends that are Geminis and a lot of I've had a couple clients Gemini. It's rough out there. Geminis are trying their best, and I think it's finding courage right now, Gemini, especially with that North node in your first house. Like you are learning how to find so much strength and courage right now, and it's not easy. It's you're having to dig deep for it, but you're gonna come out so strong. So hang in there. Happy birthday. Feel into that birthday energy. Try and feel some feel good energy too, and not worry. We're gonna get through this. It's just a whole new you. In a lot of ways, it's like really finding that new strength and that new identity. It's almost like really coming into your ego. And I know people hate on the ego, but without the ego, we wouldn't get anything done. All right, Gemini. Maybe, maybe that lunar eclipse in your 7th house was trying to bring someone in to like help you see how powerful and strong you really are. Or it was showing you exactly the people that you need to stop letting into your life and have the courage to block them out. That's a possibility too. All right. What's up, Gemini? High Priestess reversed. That's a crazy one to get illuminated first. I think that, you definitely have to trust your inner intuition and not overthink things. I think Geminis are kind of disconnected right now from their faith. They're kind of just in a stressful position right now, and they're not seeing both sides of the story. They're not tapping in. They're kind of just like one-sided right now, and that's a hard one, especially when it is your birthday season and there's a lot going on, and we're coming into summertime, spring's ending, warm weather. Geminis are having these eclipses in their axis right now. You gotta see both sides of the story. I think that you can get lost in just one side if you're not coming back. Really to the hidden aspects of life too, and like making sure that you're like not just losing yourself in what the reality looks like, but tapping into the other part of our reality, the ether, the spirit, your connection. That seems like it's really important right now, and that would probably de-stress or declutter what reality might seem like. Knight of Coins is the emotion, the moon here. So, yeah, I think that, you're trying to find security. So Geminis are definitely trying to, again, kind of put that emotional body armor on. But they're kind of like, I feel like they're just trying to be tough, and like you don't want to just be tough in the outer world. Like if you're feeling some type of way, like you need to feel into that. You need to be vulnerable, I think too. And the moon's a vulnerable place, and it's like there's strength in vulnerability, which is kind of what I'm getting from this card. So be vulnerable in your own self and in your change. And that's going to help you see, the other side. That's going to let that in so that you can find that inner courage to start making changes in your reality that are better instead of just being like hyper focused on reality. Because I feel like with the High Priestess reverse, like that's the main thing, is like you're not listening to your intuition. You're too focused on whatever it is in life right now, whether it's money or something else. Like that's just the only thing you're focused on, when you should, kind of be focused on yourself a little bit more, maybe your own connection, maybe those things. What's Mercury saying? Ten of Coins upright. Yeah, I think your mind, I guess, you want the best right now. You want, the full completion of the story, but it's like, are you ready to step up and take the courage to like make that plan manifest? Are you seeing like that you have to connect to both sides of the story to use the alchemy within you? And maybe you are, and like, maybe it's just like you could trick your own self here into not having the courage. But I think that ultimately, it seems like Gemini's like, I feel like maybe the mind's really sharp, and that's what, you're in a place of like mental clarity, and it is your season, and, Mercury's there, Mercury's about to go retrograde, but, you really have to see the big picture. And I think that if you fully understand the big picture, that you're going to feel more connected and, channel that strength. So it looks like Geminis are going to find their strength. I would say like they've been feeling a little disconnected, but there's something about, getting the Knight of Coins and the Ten of Coins, like where it seems like reality's just going to fucking work out, Gemini. Like you may have been not trusting your intuition or a little disconnected, but tell yourself it's going to work out. And maybe that's where you find all the inner courage and the mental courage you need to make it work out this time, ironically enough. Venus gets the Temperance reversed. So, wow. It's an interesting Venus card. Well, when it comes to feeling good, maybe you don't just wait around. Maybe it's not about just like being patient and, seeing if something good finds you. Like if you want something good right now, go get it. Go define it. Like, I think that's, make it happen. And especially if your intuition's telling you that, like your intuition's probably sitting there like in the background, like your guides are just probably chirping like, go get what makes you feel good, go get the ultimate in life. And you're like, well, no, I just want to stay in this story, and something will just come around and change it for me. And it's like, no, you have to change it for yourself right now. Like, go change the story for yourself. This is where you grab the courage and do that. So the Temperance reversed, I mean, for Venus is like, yo, if you want to feel good and it's about relationships, especially with, the lunar eclipse that just happened in the 7th house here in Sag. Square Neptune in your 10th, or square Jupiter in your 10th, and Neptune's getting squared in your 10th. Like, you have to define what you want right now. And that's going to make you feel good, and you can't just sit around and wait or be patient any longer. Like, and if it's a relationship you want, stop waiting for, oh, I'll just sit back and something will come eventually. Maybe, but is that what you really want? Or do you want something that you can see right now? I don't know. It's an interesting one. Why'd we get that card? We pull the 4 of Pentacles reversed. Huh. Well, it's time to let go of something, I would say. Or maybe, you have to find out what you really want and go after it. And, don't be so patient that just you're not defining right now, because I think it's a defining moment for Gemini, and it's in that defining moment that you find a lot of courage. So what do you really want to hold on to? If it's a relationship, if it's a partner, put in the work. Like, don't just sit back and relax. Like, that's actually not going to bring the feel-good energy, I would say, is what these cards are saying. And Mercury's saying, what is the best, what is the ultimate, like, your mind, your ruling planet, like, go get the best, Gemini. Stop tricking yourself and waiting around and not trusting your intuition. Don't do that. What's Mars saying for you? Oh, the Fool reversed. You feel silly right now, Gemini. And that's what's holding you back and giving you a hard time defining right now is you feel like you're some fool. You feel like you don't, have what it takes, which is just a feeling. This is a paralyzing feeling that you're just going through right now because you usually don't feel this way. And I think that your mind is still super sharp and knows what it wants. And we're at this time right now where you're feeling disconnected from that. And it's time to get serious. You're not the fool. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you can manifest. You have to know that you can create. You have to know that you have strength. You have to know that if there's partners in life that you want, or if you're in a bad relationship, that you got to boss up right now. And it doesn't, like, that's an old story. And you can think that you're a fool, but you're not the fool. Like, it's like, I feel like I have to say that to Gemini. You're not the fool. No matter what happened in the past, you are not the fool anymore. And I think that would be paralyzing you, especially with Mars in trine to Neptune. Mars in trine to Neptune, especially when Mars is in fall, like that's not, like, I know it's a trine. Oh, happy go. No. Mars trine Neptune sucks, especially in Cancer. Like that's a really watered down, diluted Mars that makes it hard to make moves. It's paralyzing. And the only thing that you really want to act on is what makes you feel good and what your intuitive pull is towards. And those are the things that are gonna shine right now. And you're not a fool for listening to your intuition. I feel like with the High Priestess coming out as the sun, you feel like you're a fool if you listen to your intuition and do what it's saying. And that's not the case. What's Jupiter saying? Page of Coins reversed. Just change. The reality's switching up. And like that's okay. But you need to bring some youthful energy, and there's abundance in the youth. There's abundance in not feeling like a fool. Like there's abundance in whatever it is in your reality that you need to change to feel more grounded or to have the ultimate. Go in that direction. And I think that you're in a time right now where it's not so much about waiting around or playing it safe. And I feel like you're a fool because you're playing it safe. And it's a very mutable time, and you're a very mutable sign, Gemini. It's a time to change up what isn't working anymore. And that's actually what will be the abundance. That's what's going to, bring in something good in your physical world with the Page of Coins. But like you have to be willing to like let that in. And I think you feel like you're a fool if you make a change right now. But you got to hold on to what makes you feel good. You got to hold on to that feel good energy. You can't just sit around and wait for it too. Like, oh, it'll come. I believe it'll come. That's very seventh house of you with Sag in your seventh house, Gemini. Like, you want something, go get it. If you want a better relationship, go get it. Don't feel like a fool. And even if you've been in a relationship or you've been in a job or you've been in something that has to do with other people, you're not a fool for being in it. You're only a fool if you stay in it and you're not happy. The Hierophant reversed. You need to grab on to something more reliable in life, and that's Saturn. Like, you need to find something steady that you actually want to believe in. If you haven't been believing in something, don't just sit around and wait for the universe to bring it in. Like, you need to go find it. You need to go find that stability in something. That's what's going to make things better. And that stability is likely just within you, and not thinking you're a fool, not thinking you're crazy. Trusting your intuition. I know it's a crazy time right now, Gemini. There's a lot going on, and I don't think, I think everything's justified if you're feeling a little disconnected. And I think, this goes for like Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. If you're feeling anxious or like, gosh, like it's hard to channel some sort of courage right now, it is. And the universe is trying to show you that you're gonna get it. And when you get it, you're gonna be stronger than you ever thought. And you're not the fool. And you're going to have the connection there, and that channel is going to be everything. And that's going to bring you the stability that you're looking for within yourself. Oh, geez. It's talking about Sag and that lunar eclipse in your seventh house. I see. And you know what? Sag is all about like seeing the vision, seeing the bigger picture, you know? So what do you believe in? Where's the bigger picture taking you? You need to focus on that and stop like looking at things so narrow. So it's time to expand. It's time to change. And I think that you're expanding courage right now. And you're expanding your own fire. Aquarius, fourth house, Mercury. Yeah, you need to understand, you know, your unique feelings and your unique thoughts are unique to just yourself. And you don't, you know, you're not weird. You're not, you know, the fool for having your own feelings or having your own inner wants and needs. And don't, you know, don't not express those needs too. Especially if you're in a relationship. Like, eclipse season's rough for relationships, and you're having eclipses in your first seventh house axis. If you need to express your true self to other people in your life, or relationships or partners, express your true feelings, and they are unique to you. And, you know, you can hide them too. Like, Aquarius, you know, that's a Scorpio rising, right? Like, Aquarius fourth house is like, it's weird. Aquarius, like, this weird, it's a weird place for Aquarius. So, you know, you gotta ground in your unique feelings and express those feelings, because it's in that individuated expression that I think you're going to find your courage. And you don't have to be a fool. You just have to be true to what you ultimately want in this life. And I think that, gosh, that ruling planet, your Mercury getting the Ten of Coins, like, there's so many good things that are trying to find you, and you know it, but you're almost in a place where you just don't want to feel into it completely, because there's so much going on with other people, there's so much going on with work and money, and it's like, you have to understand your wants and needs inside right now. And that's where the courage is at. And ultimately, you know, Knight of Coins for, you know, your moon card. Like, you're about to find a lot of security through this transit and a lot of strength. And it's going to come through your inner emotions. Gemini. It's a lot. It's intense times. Being in the middle of eclipse season. Yeah, Freddie, I did do Cap. It was second. Yeah. Oh, I love you guys. I'm so glad that you're here with me. 19 of you. That's dope. All right, let's see. Who's next? Leo. Oh, man. It's hot in here. It's like 80 degrees. Summer is a coming. Summer is a coming. All right, Leo, what are we using for you? Use this deck. See what's going on with Leo. Leo are in a pretty, they're in a pretty good spot right now. They're having, you know, the 5th, 11th house axis with these eclipses, and, you know, I would say Saturn retrograde in the 7th is probably like the hardest. Unless they're finding, you know, that good relationship that they've finally been looking for. And, yeah. Just had that 5th house lunar eclipse. I mean, that's a great place. I mean, that's like changing the belief about how you like love, which Leo's all about the love. So hopefully Leos are feeling like, you know, their like love story is just taking the next level, taking the next chapter to the best. All right, what's the sun? It's the Six of Coins reversed. Okay, well, Saturn is retrograde in that seventh house. Like, you can't be the charity case for everybody else right now, but, I think, there's something in life that needs to find more balance. You are coming into a solar eclipse in that 11th house. So, I mean, there's a lot about sort of the royal court. Gemini is the royal court for Leo in the 11th house. So, what's up with the kingdom, Leo? And, like, are you finding the right balance with the right people? Maybe that's part of this. And the, you got the Two of Pentacles for the moon here for how you're feeling. Well, I think, gosh, you've had Jupiter in the seventh, you've had Saturn, in the seventh, and Saturn's now retrograde in the seventh, and Uranus is in your 10th house coming back for a square on that Saturn. I think there's a lot of questions about how you're feeling about other people right now, and Leos are trying to, like, get to the bottom of their heart. They just had a lunar eclipse in the fifth, but they're also trying to figure out, like, how to not wait things out with the right people in life and the right connections, and to not, overextend too much, and not, just be a charity case for, like, light and happiness. Sometimes I feel like Leos get in a position where they just always have to be like, oh, let's go have fun. Let's go fucking woo. Let's go have a good time. And, like, show out. And it's like everybody kind of is like, yo, where's the Leo to show out? So, there's this sort of this balancing act, I think, for Leos right now, where they're finding their more courage, they're finding more heart, but they have to, like, bring that to the people and to the collective in a special way right now. But it's really by, being true to themselves and not overextending, not just giving too much or, being overly out there, but, being true to themselves, taking care of themselves, individuating. The 11th house is about, finding your own frequency too. And I think that solar eclipse is like, helping you find out where you do fit in and what's up with the royal court. And, like, maybe you're weighing out, like, a lot of people in your life right now. I feel like there's a lot going on with people. It could be money too, So, like, what's up with the money in life? Like, are you weighing out jobs? Are you weighing out, like, are you giving enough energy to the job you want? Is it paying you enough? Kind of interesting. What's Mercury saying? Queen of Swords. Yeah, it's a good one for the Mercury card. It's like, exactly what you want. You don't have to, like, emotionally weigh things out. Do what you feel called to do. Do what, makes the most sense. I feel like for Leo right now, if it doesn't make sense, don't waste your time trying to connect the dots, like trying to connect to other people, especially, with other people. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense for you right now. Like, it either vibes or it doesn't vibe. And that's one thing, the Queen of Swords is pretty cold, she's not going to fuck around if it doesn't make sense, if it isn't, connected. So don't waste your mental authority, your energy trying to just, like, weigh out things because you want to connect to everybody because you got so much love in your heart, Leo. Like, just no, like, you got to disconnect and have a little bit of that Aquarian, like, opposite energy too, which you're going through, quite a bit of this year. Page of Cups for the Venus. Page of Cups reversed. Interesting. I think there's definitely new opportunities that are trying to come in for Leo right now, and it could be in relationships, but maybe they're dealing with, really trying to, like, understand what would fill their cup up and what would make them feel good. And I think that there's a curiosity right now, especially with Venus in your 11th house right now, and, like, with Mercury and squaring from, to Neptune in your 8th house, Leo. Like, you got a lot going on with people right now. And it's like, do they really fill your cup up? That's a good question. Do the people in your royal court, do the relationships, do they fill your cup up? And are you, like, asking that question? I feel like you know it mentally. You're like, oh God, this isn't working out, or this is everything. So it's one or the other. And there's, like, this duality aspect too, with, like, weighing things out and two options. Don't be the charity case. I think that's the overall, right, with your son. Like, don't give your authority, don't give your love, don't give your emotion to something that's not making sense. It's not going to make you feel good. Mars, Queen of Pentacles. Well, that's great. Like, this is definitely a time for you to define. You got Mars in your 12th house right now, so it's kind of like a little in Cancer, trining that Neptune. Like, I feel like Leos just really need to like act on what's going to bring them the ultimate, what's going to bring them the most nurturing, connected, abundant life that they can have, and just own it. And that's where the connection's at. That's where the like good vibes are at. And you know what? I think that lunar eclipse in your fifth house really helped, actually, in a huge way. Like Leos like grab a hold of their heart again, and they see clearly if they're in their heart where they're giving too much, where they're overextending, where they're weighing things out. But it's like you got to act on what's best. Now it's time to act. Where the emotions are still weighing things out, no, you need to define for what's the best for you. You already mentally know it. You're just emotionally unsure. But then again, you know, if you don't know what you want, you sometimes maybe just have to ask. And I think that, it's about asking a higher power, a higher source. So for the Leos that don't know, or that aren't, maybe they're feeling too overextended and they're too disconnected right now, like ask, what's the best for you right now, especially with a Mars in the 12th, you'll get some sign to act on. Jupiter is the 8 of Wands. Woo! I feel like there's like a quick love story. Kind of interesting. Something's coming in quick. Maybe it's abundance. Maybe it's I would say with the 8 of Wands, it could be a love story. Saturn retrograde in the 7th, like maybe that's bringing in some karmic love story. Maybe it's the abundant kind. Interesting. Ultimately, you want to act on something fast though. I would say like that's where the goodness is at, and like you don't want to be too watered down right now. You don't want to be too like you gotta really like tap into what you truly want. Tap into the intuition. See where that's taking you, and see where what would emotionally feel comfortable within you. Because I feel like mentally you know right now, so act on that. Also, like use that sharpness, use that quickness to move in a direction. That's probably where the gifts are at. That's probably where the goodness is, and that's probably what's going to help you bring in something amazing that you've been trying to manifest, whether it's a relationship or a job. And it's probably like that quick action that you won't be weighing things out or feeling like you're giving too much out. Like just act, just go. You already know. Stop questioning yourself. And I'll be honest, that lunar eclipse in the 5th, like, that's helping you find courage, too. Like, that's like, act for what your heart really wants. Like, that's changing the way you believe about, truly, like, your creative expression and abilities. So what do you want to create? Create. Act on it now. Saturn, the Knight of Pentacles. So even Saturn here is like, if you want, the good things, God, that Knight of Pentacles has been coming up a lot. Like, you got to put the armor on, have the courage to go out and build. A lot of coin stuff. I feel like Leos are building something right now, and they have a great idea. They are on it. They just need to pull the trigger and stop doubting. So don't doubt yourself. This is a time to be confident. This is a time to be sure. If it feels aligned with the heart, go in that direction. Courage, strength, movement right now is everything for your manifestations. And I think, with the sun and the moon being, the 6 of Pentacles here reversed, and then the 2 of Coins, like you're just a little unsure, but it's like, no, act now for what you want. That's where the abundance is. Gotta have the courage to push your boundaries, with Saturn having the Knight of Pentacles here. So I think, you're in a time right now of like really finding that strength and courage, Leo. And if you do that, you're going to see so much abundance find you. So don't hold yourself back. Like, and you have to be curious too. I think you have to be curious about the new love story or the emotions, like with Venus getting that Page of Cups. Wow, look at that lunar eclipse change. yeah, there's changes taking place, right? And you don't want to like question the changes, like especially if you know. I feel like you already know they needed to take place. They actually make the most sense in your life. So like just fucking change. Like don't worry about it. Like don't get yourself in a place of like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know." No, it's just it's time. The time is now. You just had a total lunar eclipse in your fifth house. You need to find your strength, your courage, your heart and just do it. And change up anything in life that isn't of the heart. And you know, that's like your main that's like your main mission here, Leo, is to live from the heart. So if you haven't been, you know, I think a lot of your seventh house has been lit up this year to show you like where you give too much or where you overextend that takes you out of your heart. And like when it comes to connecting with other people or connecting in general, like make sure that you're in your heart. Like that's going to give you the best connection 100%. We got Venus, Pisces, seventh house. Yeah, and it's so funny too, because that's a dreamy relationship vibe right there. If it is a relationship right now too, and you need to change it because it's not the ultimate dream, like this is where you need to change it too. I feel like there's a better love story that's trying to come in fast. So, you know, if you've been weighing out something or you've been overextending for a relationship, you know, this is where you find that courage to push the boundaries because you know there's something better out there that's going to be more of a fairy tale. It's going to be more open, more beautiful, more dreamy, more everything that you could possibly want and balanced and spiritually connected, probably everything you ever wanted. So Leo, I would say honestly, if you're in a place right now where you're not feeling it like you're in a good relationship, this is like where you stop weighing that out and overextending because you already know there's something better out there. You've been curious about it. Now you need to define and go in that direction. Kind of funny that really turned into a love reading at the end with Venus and Pisces in the seventh house. That'll do it. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see what's up. Oh. Hi, Allie. Well, I don't know. It's kind of intense reading for relationships. I hope that whatever, you know, of course, like it's just a tarot reading. Take what resonates, you know. If it doesn't resonate, don't go believe something good or I don't know. All right, who's next? Virgo. 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 All right, Virgo. What are we going to use for you? All right, well, Virgos, you're having eclipses in your 4th and 10th. Just had a lunar in the 4th. So, you know, you're trying to get your emotions right, trying to get your roots right, trying to change the way you know, probably the way you feel about your own connection to your body and how rooted and grounded and secure you feel within yourself. So this is a big time. And then it's all about like that rooted and grounded place within yourself. Like that's what's going to help you go out there and conquer the world, you know? Conquer the world with a solar eclipse in the 10th. And maybe it is about the change in a career or, you know, a new start or a new beginning to a social, you know, a place in society or a legacy. Let's see what the cards have to say. Yeah. Two of Wands. So some a little bit of duality coming up, like illuminating some choices. Like where do you want to go? What do you want? What do you want to make happen? I think ultimately, this card usually has, right, the sphere in the guy's or the girl's hand, whatever the card usually has a sphere, right? So I think, you have a lot of options right now. So there's options out there, and what do you want to choose, Virgo? What are you feeling? Nine of Swords. Well, don't feel the one that feels like a nightmare. I think you have two choices here. You have this choice between maybe a nightmare or something that might feel really, really good and really secure. And you kind of have to you have to make the choice for yourself. And I think, too, with a lunar eclipse in your fourth house, like that can bring a lot of emotion out. Like a lot of emotion, right? You have to figure out sort of how to not trip on and get too anxious or get too lost or feel like everything's out to get you. I think this is all about you finding that inner strength to not feel like the world's raining swords down on you. And there's a snake here too. It kind of got the sword around. I think that you're finding a lot of inner wisdom right now, and it's helping you kind of break out of anxiety or old things, because this is about you ultimately, like June 10th, like a big understanding of this legacy and the right career, the right sort of path. It's an 18-year transit that you get eclipses in your 10th house. It's a big deal. 10th, fourth house. So what are you rooting into? And I think that, you have options here. And I would say that a lot of duality with the Two of Wands, choices. So it's like you could emotionally be feeling trapped, or, like there's a nightmare playing out. But you know what? This is saying that there's a choice. You have the choice to break out of a nightmare, to see that, whatever was raining down helped you find more security, helped you ground. And where's the next part of the journey taking you? What's Mercury saying? Four of Wands reversed. Well, I think it's time to break out. I think that something needs to be expressed. Don't hold back. You got to kind of go out there and express it. So if you're feeling like maybe if you just stay inside and kind of keep to yourself, everything will be okay. You have a choice here. You have a choice to, express yourself, be true to what you want, be true to how you're feeling, or, maybe not. And that's what's going to make you feel like you're in a nightmare. And you're just going to have this emotional, just rain of anxiety come down upon you. Yeah, that one sword totally went through that guy. I think you're trying to figure out right now, what's up with the home life, what's up with the career, and you gotta make a move. You can't just sit back inside and rest right now. I think you found that security now that we had this lunar eclipse, and now it's time to take what you found, to take that power. You had a choice to make, to come out, go out and express it. And what's Venus saying? Princess of Wands reversed, Page of Wands. Yeah, I mean, what does the heart really want? What's the heart showing you? You got to listen to that. That's super important, especially with the Two of Wands. Sometimes you just have to go where the heart's taking you. And with the Four of Wands, the Four of Wands, I was kind of reading that as the swords, to be honest. So that's a celebration card. So I kind of, messed up that a little bit, but what are you mentally blocking yourself from just some sort of good celebration in life, or a good homecoming? I feel like that homecoming's within yourself. And you're really trying to, you need to find your heart right now, Virgo. That's big. If you're in Saturn retrograde in your 8th house. No, your 6th house, sorry. I feel like the reality is just kind of stopping. I think it's it is kind of stopping. It's slowing down so that you can make a big choice within yourself to choose the homecoming, the celebration of life, the party. And, that's probably what's going to bring you some feel-good energy, or some feel-good energy into your love life. is like, you know, more of a youthful, heart-centered choice. This comes down to a choice. This whole reading's about you making a choice. And I feel like it's this choice between anxiety or just living from the heart and living from a place of your truth and what's going to make you feel good. Another Wands card, 5 of Wands reversed. Like, so yeah, you know, are you fighting for the right things in life? Are you fighting for things that make you feel good, or are you just fighting for things to fight about? Are you fighting about the little things? Like, you know, I feel like the 5 of Wands reversed is like fighting over stupid little things, you know? So it's like, are you arguing with yourself about a bunch of little picky, are you just nitpicking yourself to death right now, Virgo? Are you fighting because you're like, wow, my heart really wants to go in this direction, but I'm not going in this direction? Like, you feel like you have to just beat yourself up and stay in a nightmare? I really hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not the case. What's the abundance card? Jupiter is the King of Cups reversed. You know, you got to find that inner sovereignty, that emotional security. Like, that's what it's all about. And that's what that eclipse, you know, I'll be honest, like, Lunar Eclipse in your 4th in Sag, like, that was all about, like, this, literally the story of, like, the belief in yourself. And, like, do you believe in yourself right now, Virgo? Like, if you do and you have that authority within yourself to feel like emotional sovereignty to where, you know, you're not letting the outside world affect you emotionally. You're not letting other people affect you emotionally. You're not letting other people put you in some nightmare, which, I'll be honest, the moon throwing the 9 of Swords out there, like, it's probably people are fucking putting you in a weird place emotionally. The abundance is in you not letting that happen anymore. Being strong and passionate and in your heart and making choices from the heart. 2 of Wands. They're going to make you feel so much better, and they're going to help you define, like, what you want and how you are going to go get it. And I think that that's a lot about this this eclipse season for you. Is like, especially North Node in, you know, in Gemini in your 10th house, like, you're trying to go out for the ultimate right now. And you have to make the choice to go get it. And you can get kind of lost in that South Node in your 4th of just like sticking, you know, sticking inside or not thinking that you're, you know, you're worth it enough. Like, you got to get out right now. And you have to have that security and that strength within yourself to go out there and get it. Saturn, the Hermit reversed. Yeah, get out of the. I don't know what Virgo out there needs to hear this, but like, get out of your house and go make things happen. Like, that's the choice. You're just gonna like trip yourself out and give yourself anxiety because you know there's this pull to go accomplish something right now, and it's like, why aren't you going and accomplishing it? So find that strength, find that sovereignty, and you know, you have the wisdom. And I think that, you know, the Hermit, right, there's a lot of wisdom in the Hermit card. A lunar eclipse in the 4th house, like, you in Sagittarius, like, you just got all the wisdom of how much you're worth it and how you can root in and how you can find and ground in your body that you could ever need right now. And I know that it can feel like a lot of emotion. It can feel like a lot, but all of it that's coming up and all that you're seeing right now are helping you find that strength. So you need to get out and shine your light for what you want. All right, you got Sag. Card came out again. You got to trust your intuition too. You got to believe in yourself. You got to see the power within yourself. And you got to aim in a direction right now. So that's something too, is like the Sag is the archer. You know, you got to aim and point your arrow in the direction that you want to manifest, that you want to see come to fruition in life. And it's not by just sticking around. It's not by staying in or being like, you know, too stuck in your home or your emotions. Like, you got to get out and go get it. And it's about the, you know, go explore, go on the adventure to create and to manifest right now. Like, I feel like the heart's trying to pull you out there, and it could be for love with the Princess of Wands here and Venus. Like, the Page of Wands is what that really is. It's like, you got to be curious for what your heart wants. You can't just stay inside. And Saturn's even like, you need to push the boundaries and get out of your cave. Don't be so crotchety. The Hermit reverse is a crotchety card. Stop being crotchety. Get out there and go make things happen for yourself. You got South Node, Aries, 11th house. So, I would say this is an issue of, you not feeling, you know, not thinking that you have the confidence even, or feeling like, hmm, be North Node in the 5th house in Libra, like really finding balance of what the heart wants would be where you should aim to. This would be like you just connecting to energy that is stagnant too. It's almost like a karmic lesson for you to like learn how to disconnect from the wrong people in life and like maybe get back to yourself. Like a karmic lesson to come back into your inner strength. Hmm. Hmm. High Priestess reverse. So a lot of that coming out too. I think we need to trust our intuition too, and don't get stuck in the wrong connections because maybe you're feeling like those are the only connections or the only connections or the only people that can define you. It was an interesting dice roll for you, to be honest. Interesting. Speaking of Aries. All right. Let's see what's going on for the Aries. We use the zombie deck for the Aries. See what the old zombie deck has to say for the air eye. Alright. Ten of Wands reversed is the illumination. So, seems like, something's trying to come to an end. Something's trying to, it's like unfinished business is kind of how I look at the Ten of Wands reverse. Like, it's almost like you could be rushing to end something, but there's like one little piece that you got to make sure that you get in order first. So, it's interesting too even with Saturn going retrograde in the 11th and, eclipses here in your 3rd and 9th house axis Aries. This is, do you have the story kind of figured out where it's going, or are you just kind of like dropping everything? I think, North Node in the 3rd house, like you want to have things kind of objectively figured out. Like you can't just believe everything's going to work out or just drop everything don't just drop the old story 100%. Like if the new one doesn't make sense. What are you feeling? Oh, look, the moon card came out for the moon. So this is definitely a time to trust your intuition. But again, like if things don't make sense, they don't make sense. And this is sort of the story changing in a lot of ways for you, and like the beliefs too, and maybe like a philosophy. And, it's through that intuition that things can change the most, I would say. But, even if you feel like things are changing right now, which they are, very cadent houses, very mutable time for you, Aries, but it seems like there's just something that you don't want to leave unfinished before you jump into the new story. Mercury's got the 7 of Cups. Maybe you're jumping into multiple new stories at once. Maybe you're like, just lunar eclipse at my 9th house. Like, I'm going to go into every story in the world. Maybe you need to narrow things down too. Like maybe that's what it is. Like instead of, carrying so much, because the 10 of Wands upright is really like carrying a bunch of extra stuff. Ten of Wands reverse is almost like, either drop it all immediately or finish something before you, pick up the rest of the pieces. Seven of Cups coming out, I feel like, this is really where you need to narrow things down. Maybe you have this grandiose idea, but you have the South Node in your ninth house here in Sag, and it's like you can have all these beliefs and all these, of things that are going to happen, but if they don't make sense, if you haven't narrowed things down, that's not going to be the change that you're looking for. I don't think that's where it's at, and that might bring some, weird sort of energy. I think that, and this card's interesting too. Whatever your dreams are telling you right now, Aries, those are probably super important. So do the dreams, kind of make some sense and kind of factually, in some way or shape or form, narrow things down? I think you need to narrow things down overall. Like, what do you really want to change in your life? Like, what is it about your environment? Maybe not so much the bigger picture of everything, but like, how do you feel about, your living situation? How do you feel about your car? How do you feel about, like, important things that you use every day? Maybe you should focus on some of those things. Venus is the Nine of Cups reversed. So, this is definitely, I think you want to have sort of, all the feel-good emotions and all the feel-good things in life, but you're focusing on too many things right now. So you're missing out on sort of like the really good energy that wants to come into your life, whether it's a relationship or just how you feel about yourself. Like you're too focused on too many things, and you're feeling lost, and that's making the change more difficult. And I feel like the Moon card is like a subconscious like trip right now, because in a way I think you're totally ready for the change, but you have so many things going on that you're just lost. And it's kind of like, it's probably stressing you out at night even. And if you narrow things down here and like kind of, I feel like there's something you already started that is the ultimate connection. And it's like, maybe go back and like pick that up. Maybe like go back to something you already started that you kind of put to the side, and see if that was it. Like maybe that was the thing. So I feel like there's unfinished business with the Ten of Wands. Mars, strength reversed. Well, it's interesting getting that with Mars. You are Mars ruled, and you have Mars in your fourth house right now. Like, you definitely are trying to find a lot of strength, and it's trine Neptune in your 12th. Maybe that's what it comes down to, too, is like really finding, the strength and courage within how you are truly feeling, too. And then getting the Moon in your emotional spot here, it's like maybe emotions are changing so much, and, you're like not used to it. Maybe you're feeling a little like out of your body, which is keeping you sort of in a place of like looking at all these different areas of your life when you kind of want to like narrow it down. I love it. There's like one bullet on the head, like narrow it down to like one thing and like go for that. Go for what's going to make you feel the best. Jupiter, the Emperor. Well, there you go. There's your card. Like, the abundance is in you finding that authority, finding that definition of who you truly are, and you'll being the boss. And, kind of like showing the way. Little kid feels, he's like, I'm good. I'm with this dad, and this dad's not messing around. This dad's going to get through the apocalypse. And you know what? I think that's the thing too here is like, you are going to get through the apocalypse. I think you're in a very cadent, very mutable place right now. And I think beliefs are changing, and maybe your mind is changing about a lot of things. And I think that, ultimately, there's so many things going on, but you need to focus on what's most important. And you need to focus on, like, really defining what you want. Like, go in that direction. Like, and I think the intuition, with the Moon too, the intuition's very strong. You got to trust it, but at the same time, you can't just believe in just the emotion right now with the South Node in Sag in the ninth house too. Like, you got to go and like define for what makes sense, and don't just I think it's narrow for you, Aries. Like you got to narrow things down. Like it's just like there's one thing that makes the most sense right now. Go in that direction and stop messing around with all the other crap. Like that seems like what I'm getting the strongest out of this. And the High Priestess comes out for Saturn. Like literally, like you got to trust your intuition. It's super important, but at the same time, does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And Saturn's having you be responsible about it. Like you're seeing all these different angles, you're seeing all these sides, you're tapped in. But if you're tapped in and it doesn't make sense, don't go that way right now. You might not have the understanding and the strength to go in that direction if it doesn't make sense. Your mind's already like got a fucking million things going on. Like define for what makes the most sense and define for what empowers you and what you delegate what you want. And you don't have to delegate too many things. Like I think that's an illusion. Like, oh no, I gotta delegate for all these things or have all these things in play. Not if it's stressing you out, not if it's keeping you up at night, not if it's making you feel like you can't start a new thing as well. So what's the Astro saying? Pluto. It is a transformative time. Pluto's just went retrograde in your 10th house, like, again. It is a transformative time. This is a very transformative time. There are a lot of things ending and a lot of things beginning. And, you gotta like boss up for the most important things. I think that's what this comes down to is like narrowing it down to what's really important, trusting that and pushing the limits for what you think can be the ultimate in life, what you think can give you the best payout, what can give you the best environment. But if it doesn't make sense, like there's things in life that just don't make sense, those don't need to be worried about. Like those will transform on their own. Like if you want to transform your life right now, you got to focus on the important things. There's like important things that are the benefit, but there's a whole bunch of other things that'll get your mind all cloudy. And Mercury retrograde in the 11th, or I'm sorry, in the 3rd house, like your mind's all over the place. And square Neptune in the 12th. It's a shit show in the mind right now. Aries, like, what does your heart really want? What are you really trying to define? And do you have the strength to, not put yourself in a weird position mentally, but to actually like say, kind of disconnect and detach from emotion to be like, this doesn't make sense. I got to go in another direction. And, I think you might just have to drop a lot of things or finish something that you started that's actually important and it's important. I get that too. Sun, 11th house, Leo. Ooh. Libra rising. You gotta make sure that you're connecting to the right sort of reality that you want, and you gotta let your heart guide you, and you gotta make sure that the people in your life see you for who you truly are. So this is about you really like, I think trusting your heart for once, illuminating from the heart, not for once, but like trust your heart right now, connect to your heart fully. That's gonna show you what you can disconnect from, and you know what? That'll bring balance into your life. If you just think you have to connect to everything right now, I don't think that's the best. I think you have to narrow it down. I think that's super important. And, ultimately that's where the payout's going to be, is in the narrowing down of things. So Aries, I mean, that's good for you because honestly, Aries, you like things to be a little bit more simple usually in life. So this is, I think, about you simplifying your life and connecting to that. And it's really just like more about your heart and more about you having the courage to just be in that place. And it's almost like a hard time because Mars, your ruling planet, is in the 4th, and that's not the easiest place for a falled out Mars, of course. Yo. How are you guys doing? Hi, Nari. Oh, man. Well, Super happy to have you here. 15 people. There was like 20 at one point. Super cool. Happy to see more people join for this fun little show. Fun little show. It's been interesting. I feel like the message has been so similar for a lot of signs. Aquarius. All right, Aqua. Aries and Aquarius. What are we going to use? We'll use this guy for Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is, you're having a solar in the 5th and a lunar, you just had in the 11th. So this is so your axis. Like, I feel like you and Leo have the best sort of eclipse axis going right now. And, Taurus and the fixed signs, you kind of have like your axis playing out. So it's interesting how that's working. But, this is where I think Aquariuses are really fucking stepping into being a true Aquarius, especially with Saturn retrograde in your sign. Like, you're like individuating and becoming a badass and a rebel and learning how to live from your heart too. And that's what this solar eclipse in Gemini is going to do in your 5th house. Like, this is having you find courage and strength to fucking be true to yourself and stop messing around with whatever isn't true to you and authentic and unique and badass and cool. And I think Aquariuses are finally remembering that they're like the fucking coolest. So I hope that makes some Aquariuses feel good here, because that's where we're at, Aquarius. So I hope you're feeling pretty good. Well, you got the Hanged Man reversed, so this Hanged Man is kind of hanged up, hanged upward. I think it's time to get out of the tree here. This is where Aquariuses are really sort of like getting out of, some sort of weird place. I think this is where, it's time to really channel and get, go show yourself. I think you've looked at enough different perspectives at this point that like you're like, okay, time to go change the world, time to go innovate and show people everything that I found. So I think that, Aquariuses are really, finding the courage to go to show themselves, to go be true, to go, show people something different and amazing and new. Fits with the astrology really well. And then the 7 of Wands here too. You might feel like you're backed into a corner, but you know what? A lunar eclipse in the 11th house could feel like groups or friends or, people are kind of changing, or, the belief about where you fit in with society is changing. Like, you might be like literally beating people away with a stick, so that you can find your sovereignty and be true to your heart right now, Aquarius. So, whatever you got to do to feel strong within yourself, do it. Like, beat people away with a stick if you got to. Like, they don't, you don't have to connect to everything. And I think that that's, one of the best parts about being an Aquarius is it's all about like, what is the connection? So if you're not feeling the connection with people in your life, don't mess around with that energy. Just be you. So I would say too, with this being your moon card, like, don't fight away your true self either, because of like what other people might want from you. This is where you really have to ground in who you are and like find that courage to be truly authentically yourself and own it 100%. And that's what you're going to illuminate and share, is all the wisdom that you found from, everything that you've been through up in your life. Like, your whole story of like your heart and where you've been and where you're going is changing right now. So it's big. And Pluto's, a few years from coming into your sign, it's big, powerful identity. Aquariuses are going to change the world here. Mercury card, Ace of Pentacles. I think you're doubting yourself a little bit, Aquarius. Like, mentally, like you're feeling like I don't know, right? It's interesting having a Mercury retrograde in your 5th house too. It's like maybe you're doubting what you can manifest or how strong you are and, what the new chapter is going to be like, or maybe just holding on to something. But, you got to understand, like, you can change your mind. You don't have to be so stubborn that, you're not going to see something better come into your life. Maybe you're, the moon having that 7 of Wands, maybe you're like fighting, something that wants to change for the better for your heart. Make sure you're fighting for the right things. Make sure you're fighting for stuff that actually makes you feel good. If you're just fighting things to fight things, like, that's not going to do you any good. So, I think you want to understand that, like, good things are coming, and you can block those things out if you're too stubborn. Yeah, 8 of Wands, quick energy's trying to come in. Like, could be quick love with the Venus card too. Like, and I love that, it is an eclipse, a solar eclipse that's going to be in your 5th house. Like, this could change your love life big time. Like, that is the love house. So I think the way you're connecting to your heart, the way you're connecting to other people, and that love energy right now is in a place of extreme change. And it's like, that is what you want to be stubborn about, is what's of the heart. Like, be true to your heart 100%. Rebel from anything that isn't of that. And I think that that's maybe where, things feel the best, is like the quick energy of the heart. If you feel it, act on it. If it's love, act on it. Go get it. Be in the love. Don't block yourself from a great connection by like overthinking, like, is this the gift? Like, it's almost like there's a gift coming and you're just like talking yourself out of it. Even though you've spent plenty enough, time, like, in the past here, like, figuring things out, taking different perspectives on things. Like, no, now it's time to go put what you learned to good use, and, fight away what isn't of the heart emotionally. And ultimately, like, I'm getting from this, like, if it doesn't make sense to your heart, you fight it away. And if it makes sense and the connection's there, go in that direction 100%. What's Mars saying? Page of Cups, reversed. It's that watered down Mars. Mars for you is in the 6th house. So, 6th house Cancer. No, that's not right. Yeah. 6th house Cancer. I'm tired. 6th house Cancer. So that's interesting too. I think that when it comes to sort of where you're trying to go and put your energy right now, you have to make sure that you're curious about how you're truly feeling. So it's like, if the heart's in it and you're feeling into it, go. But maybe you're fighting away emotion right now too, with the 7 of Wands. Like, maybe you're fighting away how you truly feel about certain things. And that's kind of keeping you away mentally from a gift too. And then Mars, getting this Page of Cups, like, you need to be open to feeling. It's that feeling and then acting on that that's going to, bring in a lot of, good energy that's going to feel good, whether it's relationship energy, or whether it's just doing something that, you finally feel good about. I feel like that's where you're at right now, Aquarius. Jupiter, the Chariot reversed, like, if the universe is pulling you into a new story, away from an old story. Remember, this is like the 7 in the major arcana. This is like a very spiritually connected card. This is the universe pulling you into a new story, into the abundance. Like, you gotta go. You gotta trust that that's going to be going and stop questioning it. And I think that, I think you're being a little too stubborn. I think you're fighting away feelings. Typical Aquarius kind of shit. When there's like a really beautiful story trying to come in fast from the heart, whether it's a relationship or just a love story, and you know what? You got to trust that it's the thing. You got to believe that it is. You've looked at enough different perspectives. Don't hold yourself back from the gift that the universe is trying to give you right now. Like, just go. Like, I feel like you need to like you need to like take a risk and just surrender to your heart and stop, disconnecting from the heart. Saturn, the moon reversed. Like, you're not listening to your intuition. You're in some weird subconscious place. It's blocking you from a lot of like love energy right now, Aquarius. So you have to get back to how you're feeling. This is a lot of moon. You know, the moon. This is Cancer's card. You're blocking emotion. There's a lot of emotion coming in. It's trying to connect you to your heart. It's trying to connect you to love right now. And Aquarius is like, no, I don't want the gift. I'd rather just sit in the tree and be some weird disconnected Aquarius, when like this is all about you connecting to your heart and connecting to the best love story out there for you. Maybe it's you finally loving yourself fully and doubting like, mm-mm. Aquarius, trust the universe. Get in the flow. Get in the vehicle to the divine flow that's trying to show you where the love's at. South Node, life debts. You're in a karmic pattern of like thinking that you're not worth it, or thinking that, you have to be disconnected, or you're not supposed to feel because you're Saturn ruled and you're an Aquarius, and like that's not it at all. Like you need to get into a place of feeling courageous and in your heart and strong and secure and trust that 100%. Like that South Node's in your 11th. Like the North Node is in your 4th house. It is the love house. There's love in your heart that needs to be expressed and shown right now, and you can keep disconnecting from it all you want and stay in some weird tree and stay disconnected. It's not going to give you, it's not where the abundance is at, and you're blocking yourself from the abundance. Sorry, this camera. You're blocking yourself from the abundance right now because you're not trusting in the universal pull that's trying to come in fast and show you either an amazing relationship or just an amazing something that's connected to the heart, that's going to make you feel good and grounded and ultra connected. Pisces, 8th house, North Node. Yeah, well, there's the North Node, like, and it's in Pisces. It's in the surrender to the transformation of what you're truly passionate about. Like getting down to the bottom of where the universe is trying to take you. Like, that's everything. You have to surrender. You have to trust. And I know it's hard because the opposite, the 8th house is all about trust too. So this is where you trust that the universe is trying to show you the right love connection, the right connection to what's going to make you feel good. And you can sit there and block your intuition and block emotion all you want, but like this is where you get, like, these are like two very emotional, right? 8th house, Pisces. The North Node is in your emotional connection. That's going to connect you to the heart and wherever the story is trying to take you next. Don't keep blocking that energy, Aquarius. Don't. Aquarius is almost have to like be a Leo right now. Like really channel that opposite energy. Night Alley, thanks for being here. All right. Let's see who's next. I saw Mark wants Cancer, so maybe he'll get his wish. Saggies. All right, Saggies. Solar eclipse. Woo! In your 7th. And then of course, lunar eclipse that you just had in your 1st. That's a big one. These are a big deal eclipses. That first 7th house axis changes so many things about your courage, your identity, who you are, how you find strength, how you define for yourself, your connections in life, especially the solar eclipse in your 7th house. And you have the North Node in your 7th. Like, you are finding your place with people right now, and it's all about, the friendships and the relationships and the people in your life that make sense. And you're like actually defining your life through other people right now, as crazy as that may sound. And I'm not usually one to say that, but that's where you're at. And Saturn retrograde in your 3rd. Like, you're getting serious about your mind, that's for sure. All right. The illumination is the Three of Pentacles. It's a party. It's a celebration. Like, who's on your team, who's not. It's the people, you know. It's so funny. Like, that's such a card of people. And, like, who is part of the celebration of life and who's defining a fun life, you know, in this world with you and in this reality with you. And I think that that's so important. Like, if you're defining your life right now based around people that aren't living a type of life that you want to live or that you want to connect to or that you want to be a part of, like, that's important. Like, other people are so important, more important for you right now than anybody else. So are people celebrating life with you? I hope they are. What's that? The Sun card upright for the, it's definitely time to feel good, Sagittarius. This is dope. I like this, you know, having a lunar eclipse in your first house. Like, I think you're finding a lot of emotional courage and a lot of shine within yourself, you know? So it's like, what do you know, why not illuminate the happy story of life, like the true Saggy story? And, you know, your ruling planet Jupiter is in its other home sign of Pisces in your fourth house. Like, the abundance is within you, and like, it should let it shine, let it shine. So definitely good for Sagittarius right now. Oh, I forgot to change it. Boom. Yeah, definitely good for Sagittarius right now. Like, looking good so far in this reading. Mercury, Wheel of Fortune, like, you know what, you gotta spin the wheel to get the abundance, to get the gifts in life. So like, if you're thinking, you know, if you're on the edge about something, take a risk. Like, it'll pay out. And maybe you've been going back and forth in your mind about, like, oh, I don't know, do I want to risk it? I might hit bankrupt. No, you're not going to hit bankrupt. Spin the wheel. Like, whatever you're spinning for in life right now, I think it's trying to have a lot of fun. It's trying to have a lot of, like, you know, good payout energy, and it's trying to show you something. Like, the sun's trying to illuminate something that's going to feel really good. And it could be, you know, just some childlike play. This is like party play. Like, Sag, you need to go have fun. Live your life right now. You know, life is a game of Wheel of Fortune. Life is a risk. Like, there's a bunch of stuff going on in the world. Like, so what? Like, are you living your life? Are you enjoying yourself? You know, eclipse season in your axis, first seventh house. Like, that'd be one way to feel good about yourself, is to just live the life that makes you feel the most abundant and happy. And just disconnect from whatever else in life isn't giving you that. Venus, the moon card, looks like, you know, if you're following your intuition, you're going to feel good. If you're following your emotions, your heart, you're going to feel good. You know, maybe you're having, you know, it's interesting too, you know, with a solar eclipse that's coming in your seventh house here. Like, this is the Venus card. Like, you know, your intuition's showing you where the best relationships are in life, and who the ride or dies are, and where the balance is at and the harmony. So if you're listening to that, you might, especially if you have been listening to that, you're probably feeling very good right now. You're probably feeling super fun and happy and joyous. This is a nice set of cards. And maybe you knew that there was a risk and you took it already with the Mercury card and the Wheel of Fortune. Lots of major arcana. This is a powerful, and the Queen of Cups for your Mars. Like, you gotta do what feels the best in life right now, and what's illuminating and what's bringing you comfort, connecting to energy that feels divine, that feels emotionally right. If the party is there and people are, like, not only grounded and having a fun time with you, but the emotions feel right and there's connection, that's everything. Like, they're just meant to be there. So, like, gosh, I feel like for relationships, for Sages, this is such an important time for relationships, that, like, it's all about how you're feeling. And is it fun? If it's not fun, or it doesn't feel like it's got some sort of excitement to it, I don't think you're in the right place. So you have to kind of look at this too. I would say, like, if you're not having fun right now, there's something in life that you have to take a risk for, to, like, live more, to have more freedom, to have more fun, to have more excitement. Because it'll make you feel better, it'll make you feel more connected, and overall, like, very, like, it'll make you feel more just, like, sovereign, and like that you have, control of who you are and what you want. And even like with relationships too. And, you know, I would say Mars in Cancer. Sixth house. Yeah, I'm trying to like do astrology right now. I'm terrible at it. It's so funny. Um, just making sure that you're acting on your intuition is going to bring you the feel good energy, and it's going to make you feel more connected and more sovereign to the good time and to the expression that you want to be in. What's Jupiter saying? The Knight of Swords reversed. So that's the fastest card in reverse. You'd almost like, maybe you need to slow down for the abundance. Maybe if you are just like rushing in too fast, maybe you'll miss out on something, that was important, that needed to be like looked at. So, maybe slow down. Don't spin the wheel too fast, but like still make sure that you're, connecting to the happy, good, happy-go-lucky sort of energy right now. I think that's where the goodness is. I just don't think you have to rush to make it happen. Like, you just need to kind of like go where the fun is. And I think that it's already trying to find you in a bunch of different ways. Saturn saying that you got the King of Swords upright. So yeah, it's very Saturn. King of Swords, like really knowing and being like serious about what you want. And making sure that you're not wavering. Like, boss up for what you want. You know what it is. There's a lot of abundance out there. And I think you know it. You totally understand that there is. And as long as you're acting from a place of your own confidence, your own security, like you're golden. So Mars 8th house too. I don't know why I just could not like think about where Cancer was on the wheel for Sag for a second. But yeah, 8th house. Like you need to penetrate for like what is the best right now. What's going to bring you the most security, confidence, nurturing in life. Like that's what's going to illuminate and bring all the gifts. And there's Sag, this is a great reading. Like there's so much fun and abundance. You need to be having that good time right now. You need to be living it up. So if you're not, like, why? Are you not taking a risk to have a good time? Are you holding yourself back from a good time because you don't want to kind of jump into something? That could be there too. But like, this is a time to celebrate. Like, it's your half birthday. Like, this is a time to celebrate what's up. Like, big evolution, big change. Change within your security. Like, this is the way you believe about yourself. And how that affects, how others even see you. Neptune. Sacrifice. What do you need to sacrifice to have a good time? To live in abundance, to live in joy and happiness? Sometimes, like, you have to sacrifice the way you think reality needs to look, or the old story that you to maybe tell yourself. Like, maybe that's what just needs to fade away. Maybe that was all an illusion of some life that like was holding you back from abundance or from joy and a party. Or like the right connections or the right people. Like, were you trusting in the divine? Were you trusting in like where God was taking you, the universe? Like maybe that's where the gift is, and maybe that's what you're realizing right now is like the gift is in just where things can go and where they can take you. Neptune, Gemini, 6th house. Yeah, I would say that reality is changing, and there's a lot of different ways it can change, and there's two sides to everything, and there's a lot of duality in these placements, but it's like you can have a magical reality if you want it, but you have to choose that. Like, it's up to you. Like, you can live in the old story, and you can, not go out and not illuminate joy and fun and be like a happy-go-lucky Sag, or but you can also believe that you know, you can have the reality that's going to bring you some sort of magic. So like, why not channel the magic story and like take a risk for it? All right. We're getting through these. There's like 4 more left. Couple more. Libra. We'll use this pretty deck for Libra. I'll make sure I change this too this time. All right, Libra. Well, this is, you know, that 9th, 3rd house axis. Eclipse season for you. So this is about beliefs. This is about your environment. This is about your mind, you know, the story you tell yourself. That's changing. It's good. Because you get to rewrite the story for yourself. And I think that's great. Boo. All right. Temperance. All right. Definitely want to see the beauty and, you know, what can come from that. This is, you know, how's everything connecting? How are you feeling? And like, this really is believing in the best reality that can possibly come for you. And, you know, with a solar eclipse coming in that 9th house, this is all about what you truly believe in and where that is all, how's it all connected? And do you have the patience to see those beliefs come true, or just to see that, you know, there is this divine sort of higher calling that's coming in to make life more beautiful for you? And I think you have to surrender and trust in that, and let, you know, stories change. And I think that there's a lot of beauty in that. And it's like, if you're ready for it, the world's going to come show you something magical and truly beautiful. And it's like, slow down and see the beauty too, and see where this new adventure is going to take you. Oh, wow, the well. You know what? This card is so interesting because it's not like a traditional card. It's a very unique card for this deck, so that's interesting. And, you know, I'll be honest, like, I feel like you're reaching into this whole new well of what life is all about and, like, what can come up. And I think that, you know, it takes, like, a sort of, like, divine trust to go into there. And like, it is about like what you believe can happen. Like, do you believe that whatever's in this well is going to bring you the abundance you're looking for? And are you ready to change that story? So it's like you're reaching into this well inwardly of emotion to go into this new story, and I think you just have to own it. Like, trust in the universe, trust in your intuition, trust that whatever's changing is meant to be. And I think that, you know, ultimately within your own emotion, within your own body, like, you are a well of wisdom too. And like, maybe there's a lot about Libras coming out and sharing that wisdom of how to like really, you know, how to really see the beauty in life. Maybe we all need to see the beauty a little bit more, and maybe Libras are coming out and like are going to be a teacher of that. 5 of Wands for Mercury. Well, Libra, you can talk yourself out of it. You can fight yourself mentally, you know. And I would say too, with this 3rd house lunar eclipse that you had, like, this is definitely in your mind. So, you know, you have to change your mind, I think, and be willing to change your mind, and not like fight off a good idea or fight off good happy beliefs or happy thoughts about what you can create. So, get this alarm going off. Sorry. So, like, what is it that you really want? What is it that's going to, you know, fill up your emotional well with, like, beauty? Like, don't fight those things off mentally right now. Like, change your mind and go into the beautiful story. Go into what makes the most sense for you. 7 of Pentacles. Like whatever work that you're putting in life, does that work, is it giving you the payout? Is it worth the work? Is it gonna fill up your well? Is it gonna show you beauty? Because I'll be honest, Venus getting this card, it reminds me of Venus in Virgo. Like Venus in fall position. Like it doesn't want to, like, Venus doesn't want to work. So like, are you putting your work into what's magical, what's beautiful, what's making you feel good? And if there isn't an investment there, I think you need to pay attention. I think that that would be, important, is like, if you don't feel good about the physical work that you're putting in life right now, you can change it. There's a whole well within you that wants to show you some beauty, show you some wisdom. But also, if you're working on something and you're seeing the payout and you're seeing beautiful things come from that, this card is showing you that also, like, you did put in the work to get the payout. So I think this is just having you really look at, like, whether it's relationships, are those paying out in your life right now? Are they working? That's worth looking at. And then also, like, when it comes to money and the things that make you feel good, and like, is it the connection? Is it the good vibe? Look at that. Like, I think that's super important. Mars, Six of Swords. Interesting. I feel like you're right on this brink here. You're on this, like, cusp of, like, going out and, like, having all this beauty, all this abundance, all these, the true story that you want to live. And it's almost like you have to kind of take the leap of faith and go to the other side. Like, you have to, if you want the beauty, you have to go get there. You have to go to that side. You have to make sure that the time and the energy you're putting into things is paying off. If it's not paying off, cut it. Like, cut your loss. If there's no ROI in the investment, cut it. So it's almost like there's something better out there. There's something more beautiful that can be illuminated, and it's like a change of belief. It's like there's magic that's coming in, very divine. And I think you realize that you just have to reach a little deeper into your well and not, like, fight what you need to do to get there. So it's like going to the other side because you know that there's actually something a little bit better over there for you. And it could be a relationship. Like, one's not working out, and maybe, like, that it would work out somewhere else. And it's like, that's where the true beauty might lie. I feel like it's with a job too, or a money situation. That's been coming up a lot for a lot of the signs. 8 of Pentacles. Wow, more work. So, this is where it's like, what was the mastery? So, like, you've been putting work in. Did you feel like you were mastering it? Did you feel like it really has, like, a place? Like, is it going to get you to the castle eventually? So, yeah, I definitely think it has to do with, like, it has to do with money, and, like, maybe you're changing a job because it's not, like, you're not using your mind for its full potential, or your wisdom to its full potential of, like, where you want to grow and expand right now. So, let's say the abundance is making sure that whatever you're putting your effort into right now, it is the thing. It's the thing that's going to get you the castle. It's the thing that's going to pay off in the end, that you kind of want to master. And I think you already know what that is too, but it's like, you might be kind of digging in this big well. It's so interesting that we got that card. Like, there's a well, and there's so many options out there in this world, but it's like, what's the one thing that makes you feel the best, that you kind of already know you need to go get to, that you already know's out there? Saturn, 8 of Cups, like, you have to, that's always like the walk away from it card. Like, just let go, follow your gut. So, definitely follow your intuition, follow where that's trying to take you. If it's taking you in a direction that, maybe was different, or maybe having you, yeah, it's interesting. Temperance, well, I feel like, the universe is trying to show you something beautiful, and it's just like, you got to take the initiative to get to that place. And I feel like there's something about, like, walking away from something that you were super serious about, that isn't, like, the ultimate anymore. It hasn't been giving you the return on investment you've been looking for in life. So it's like, you have to trust that there's infinite possibilities in the well within you. And, like, if you don't feel like you're putting your energy into something great, you're not. And maybe that's what you've been fighting yourself, about, is like, I need something better in life that my heart's more attached to, and, your mind even knows it. fifth house. Maybe just being more creative too, Libra, like, expressing, your creativity. Like, what does your heart want with that fifth house? Like, you know, maybe it's time to take center stage. And like, maybe it's through, really like coming out and like owning what you want and expressing your true creativity that well of abundance opens up and, shows you what you really need to get serious about. And maybe there was like something that just had to be left behind to get to the other side. And it's almost like the courage to just follow your heart into the beautiful story. Because I love too that, Temperance came out as the sun. Like, there's a really beautiful, amazing story trying to open up for you. And it's like, have you slowed down to check in with your heart? Have you slowed down to check in with like what you feel is actually letting you create and bring you the abundance you're looking for? Because that's where the return on investment is. That's where the well of possibilities is. Aquarius, ninth house, Saturn. Ooh. Well, you need to get serious about what you're connecting to. And I think you're connecting to a new story and new beliefs. Pretty simple. Like, really, like, that's where the eclipse axis is right now for you. So, like, you need to believe that you can go on a new story, and it's a story that makes more sense. It's a story that's more connected to your heart. And, sometimes you have to disconnect from, other shit in life to connect to the heart. And that's where the beauty lies, is in the heart right now. And, the fifth house shows that. You need to get onto that side. So, you're getting serious here and like bossing up for what beliefs are changing and which ones you really want to connect to and which ones don't make sense anymore. I think we got 3 more signs left, fam. Hope you guys are having fun. Kind of want to check the chat. But I know some of you are probably like ready for bed. I'm almost ready for bed too, I'll be honest. Winifred Mildrew said, "Why am I so racist? Report, unsubscribe, and I'm reporting you to Patreon. You make physical threats against the government officials. I'm reporting you to the authorities. Your channel needs a good shutdown." Okay. Whatever you say. Crazy town. All right, who's next? I don't even have a Patreon. I run a website. Taurus. All right, Taurus. Let's see what's going down for the other Venus-ruled sign, Taurus. God, I'm like, you can see how sweaty I am. It is like, it's way too hot in this back office room that I film in. All right. It's going to be a hot summer here in California. I live kind of close to like a road too, so I'd like open this window, but it's kind of noisy. So it goes. All right, 3 of Wands. So looks like Taurus. I mean, you're having eclipses in that second 8th house axis. So this is kind of like, your energy that, you're kind of getting a rewriting a new story. So it's like, okay, you're looking out here to see like what's out there. Where's the abundance at? What's the new story looking like? So this is like a new story opening up from like your heart, your self-worth, your confidence, your soul capital, as Christopher Witecki would say. And I love that saying so much. So, where is that abundance at? Where is your soul capital at? And are you ready to really go out and, explore that and see what's going on? The solar eclipse is really in you finding, your manifestation ability 100%, your, and the love of self. So like that's where the abundance is at. I feel like you don't have to look out too far. Like that would kind of be like where the south node is in your, and we just had the lunar eclipse in your eighth house. Like you don't need to look out for like other people to like verify your worth right now. Like I think this changed that for you. Like you had to really find your inner worth. So, don't look too far out too, I think is a good message for the Tauruses. And no, you got the four cups reversed. So like what are you blocking? I do think, I would say this lunar eclipse is having you look very closely at boundaries in life and like, who really makes the most sense and who's meant to sort of be on this journey with you and who isn't and where the mergers are at. So I would say this is almost like, you getting really serious about what you want to link up with in life and not pushing away something good also. So it's like you can't just push away everything. You can't just be like, no, 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 I don't, you know. I think you have to set healthy boundaries, but at the same time, like, be willing to change your mind emotionally. Be willing to let something good in. Like, you can't just have the walls up all the time. So, that's kind of what I'm getting from that as well. So it's like, what's the universe trying to show you that actually wants to come in and like help you and make you feel more powerful? Like maybe you should let that in. Maybe that'll feel, maybe that'll have you like open up a little bit emotionally too. I think where the abundance is trying to come in, because this is definitely like there's expanse out there trying to come in. So don't block it out by feeling too emotionally like, maybe scared even of like what's out there. And then the Queen of Cups for Mercury, like, you need to understand how you're feeling. Definitely get down to like making sure you have an understanding of your worth, of your inner value, of your, your, I would say emotional sort of like well-being and rootedness and just how you nurture and take care of yourself. Like that's very important. So, how are you taking care of your mind right now? Are you nurturing your mind? Are you trying to make sure that, you're feeling good? Or are you in a place right now where you're just feeling a little upside down, Taurus? Like you just had your birthday. I know eclipses are testing your confidence a little bit right now, but ultimately this is to help you, really ground in your confidence, really ground in your understanding of how, of how much you are worth it and what you can go after and what you can make happen in your life. So I hope that you're understanding that even when, you might be feeling like you got to push a lot away right now. Venus is at Six of Pentacles again. This is, I think, when it comes to Venus, like, I think you're learning how to let go of things and not hold on to too much. So that's also what I would say that lunar eclipse in your eighth, it probably just showed you what you need to let go of emotionally. So maybe you had to let go of a lot and you're feeling a little like, fuck, I really just had to let go of more than I thought. But you know what? It is sort of that ability to give and that ability to let go that, actually does bring in a lot of balance and abundance in life. So that's probably helping you feel better, in all honesty, is like, what did you kind of have to give so that you can let new energy in? I think there's a new expanse, a new gift out there that's trying to find you. You had to let something go, and that's okay. So don't feel too down about what you let go. It's going to bring in good energy. Like, that's good karma coming back to you, I feel like. Five of Cups for the Mars card. Five of Cups reverse. I think you're realizing that everything's not as bad as it looks. Like, something definitely got you down recently. Like, something had you kind of question how you were feeling about yourself. And I think that you're actually finding courage. You're finding balance in the things and the emotional confidence and security. It's all starting to make sense. Like you were down, something took your emotion, your sovereignty, how you were feeling about yourself, but now it's all coming to like, it's all making sense. You're like, oh, I had to let go of this so that this could come in. And it's not so bad. It's just a cycle. It's just like, so don't, if you're still feeling down and out, Taurus, I think, there's good stuff coming. Like, and it's like, the karma from what you did do for someone else. I almost feel like with the Venus card, like what you did give to help out someone else or yourself, that's coming back around to also show you like how much you're worth it. And to show you like what's going to make you, what's going to bring you that comfort and sovereignty to act on, and what's going to make you feel better. So I like the Five of Cups. I feel like that, it was a hard time, but you're coming out of that and you're finding a lot of like courage in that too. The Sun card, yeah, it's time to shine, right? That would be the Abundance card and the Jupiter card. So it's like you are on this expanse. There's new energy coming in. You're kind of in this transformative time with a lunar eclipse in your eighth. And it's like, now it's time to rise up and shine. Like, wake up and feel like the abundant, feel that sort of childlike energy and go out, go get in the sun. Maybe the sun is actually like, gonna brighten up your emotions, like cheer you up a little bit. I feel like if you're just like kind of trapping yourself inside right now, you're like, like maybe you need to get outside and see the abundance that the world has to offer for you. Like, it's out there, it's in the expanse, but you got to be willing to go out there and like look into the distance and see what's out there for you to create. Maybe it's not exactly outside, but the point is like, go see, because the sun's illuminating, it's giving you light to see. Like, go see where the abundance lies, because you're realizing it's not as bad as it looks, and whatever left just made room for something new to come in. Saturn. The Six of Swords came up again. So, what do you need to go do to feel better, to have a better understanding? Like, it's almost like you got to push the limits and get out there and go traverse to the better energy in life. Like, that's where the expanse is. Like, you've been looking out there for a while. The Saturn's like, look, boss up and go. And you got Saturn retrograde in the 10th house. So, like, what is up with, like, are you making sure that when it comes to, like, your ultimate goals and your legacy that, you're going in the right direction? I think that's important, too. It's like, if you haven't been connecting to that energy, like, you don't have to stick into to the same stuff that's not giving you the payout. Like, go into a new direction. There's new energy trying to find you right now, and I think it's in letting go of something so that you can really find what the universe is trying to show you is the best, is the most abundant in life. Oh, lunar eclipse for you too. Yeah, it's a time of change, and like, you can get stubborn, right? You're a fixed sign, Taurus. You could definitely want to hold on to energy, and I think right now is not a time to hold on. Like, now's a time to see what abundance is in the change, see what good things can come, and illuminate those things, and have the courage to push boundaries and to go, check out another side, to check out another story. And it is like that confidence within you that's gonna pay off, and it's like you know it's there. But I think, just you're kind of like nervous to go out and like experience something different right now. Cause it's just so different. It's not what you're used to. But this is kind of like getting over fears in a lot of ways too. So it's almost like you're conquering fears by, seeing that there's like really good abundant energy in the new story. So don't be afraid of the new. Change is the only constant we get, besides tropical astrology. North Node, Gemini, 5th house. Yeah, it's like the truth of your heart right now is everything. Like, you need to, understand what your heart wants. You need to understand where your creative talents lie. And like, that's the destiny. That's the goal. That's like going to bring you so much confidence. That's going to bring you so much worth, is if you trust your heart. If things don't make sense to your heart right now, they're karmic traps. They're karmic, loopholes. And like, don't get in that. Like, this is about you having the courage to switch things up. And it's that change and that switch up that's going to bring you the expanse you're looking for. So if you feel like, you've been feeling a lot of change come in and you're not sure if you should get on the boat and sail to the other side, like, I would say this is where you sail out there, because it's probably more linked to your destiny than anything else. And it's going to bring you the life and the balance and not even the balance, but more just the grounded sort of reality that you're looking for. All right. We only have a couple more. Two more. So Pisces. Cancer's gonna be the last one. Fishies then crabs. Fishies then crabs. Sorry, Mark. I know he's been waiting. He's been here as like the first one in the chat, and I don't even know if he's still in here. Oh man, I truly appreciate you guys for being in here with me. That probably was a bot. It was kind of a weird. It was a weird random message in the chat. Like, okay. All right, Pisces. Let's see. We use this deck. We use the Botticelli. The Botticelli deck. I love this deck for Pisces because it's got the birth of Venus, which is like Venus in Pisces, and it's just such a pretty, dreamy deck. So, all right, fishies. Got eclipses in your, you're in that fourth, 10th house axis. And you have the North Node in your fourth house right now. So, where Virgo, your opposite sign, like they're really reaching for the career and they're going out for like big things. I feel like Pisces are like trying to go out and do that stuff. But right now it's all about your foundation. Like it's all about you getting right with yourself and not worrying so much about what the world's doing. And, this is changing a lot of beliefs about, what even the career would be with a lunar eclipse in your 10th house, or like what the legacy was, because I don't know if Pisces truly found their self yet, but they will after this lunar eclipse. All right, Pisces, what do you got here for the sun? You got the strength card reversed, so yeah, you're definitely trying to find some courage and illuminate that strength right now, and it feels like maybe you're trying too hard, and I think that that's something that kind of comes in strong for Pisces. Like, are you trying too hard right now to like impress the world or impress your boss or impress like some sort of place of like status and prestige, when really you need to be like, trying to impress yourself and feel good about yourself and focus on your home and your foundation, and like, does everything make sense there? So, I think you need to find out what your heart really wants, or look inside right now for that courage to really find you and stop worrying so much about the outer world. Oh, look at that! I'm talking about the birth of Venus, and we pulled that card. It's the World card in this deck, so that you're coming to a completion. When it comes to your emotions, and that's interesting too with having that solar eclipse coming in your fourth house here, like. I think you are coming to a complete completion of maybe who you thought you were, who you felt like you intimately were. There's sort of this new Pisces that's going to come out. Like, I think you're going to see the world in a whole new light, after June 10th even, and after 2021. It's such a good thing. So don't like, it's nothing to be like worried about. It's nothing to like fear. I think that you're ultimately going to find a bunch of strength from it, but it's like you're completing an 18-year cycle of who you felt like you thought you were, and I think that this is like you're closing that story, and you're getting rebirthed into a beautiful, the most beautiful Pisces that you really were meant to be. So, I think the more you can focus on, how you see the world and your own, sovereignty and confidence within yourself, and what's the world look like to you, like that's super important. So I think, especially with the moon getting that, like, what's your inner world like? And are you ready to, close the chapter and start a new one? In a lot of ways too, about yourself, like in how you believe about yourself, what you believe about yourself. Temperance reversed for Mercury. Yeah, I think Pisces are in an interesting spot right now. And I feel like you're kind of like maybe doubting the beauty, or kind of like on the edge mentally, like if you're trusting or believing that things can be beautiful or harmonious in life. And I think it's ultimately comes back to like you have to get right with your world. You have to like, you know, find your comfort, and that's just within you. And that's one of the biggest things that the fourth house teaches us is like, whatever may happen, whether you have to move, whether you have to change, whether you have to go somewhere else, whether you have to get a new job, like, do you feel good within yourself no matter what? And that's a hard one. That's it's one of the angular houses. It's a big deal for us. It's like we have to find our own emotional sovereignty and comfort, and I think you have to understand that that beauty within you too, which is I think it's getting rewritten. So it's just like that story is getting rewritten, and it's like you gotta know that it's okay, and you're finding your courage in this new story. King of Cups for your Venus, like this is definitely you stepping. This is see this is dope because you're ultimately like really finding how much your value is and your worth and what you can manifest, and it's by finding your emotional sovereignty. It's by finding your comfort within yourself, and owning that, and being strong, and just knowing that you're worth it. And it like that's the thing too with strength reversed. It's like that's what you're reaching towards, is to flip that up and like see the courage that it takes to find yourself right now. So it's not about the outside world, it's about yourself, and how are you focusing on that world. That world is going to pay off and give you so much. And I think the mind can be like second guessing it, but don't second guess how beautiful you really are, is another way to look at it. Eight of Wands reversed for Mars. So like, again, like I feel like this is like Mars, the Eight of Wands reversed, like you just, going out and doing a bunch of stuff in the world or for work, when it's like actually slow down and like see the beauty within you, and like make sure you got your home life right, make sure you got your family right, make sure you got all your fourth house energy right before you just go rush out and try and save the day. So like you need to slow down and focus on yourself and focus on your inner world. Jupiter here is the Queen of Cups reverse, so you got to find the abundance in your emotion. Again, this is like really telling that it's so spot on with your astrology. It's like the abundance is within you right now. It's not without. And I think you might get trapped thinking that like it's all about what your the prestige is, what the status is right now, and that's not it. Like the abundance is just within how you feel about yourself. Do you feel taken care of? Do you feel nurtured? Do you feel safe in your body? This is what you're working on right now. And that's opening you up to a new world once you find all those things. And that's where the gift's at too. Saturn, Two of Coins. Yeah, Saturn's saying stop weighing out like the outside world and the inner world. Like you just need to get the inner world right. So you got to make a choice here. It's like, am I going to focus on my inner world? Am I going to focus on what I want to make, what's going to make me feel happy and secure in life? And what's right for maybe the family, or what's right for, the home situation? Not so much about like the career or the job or the politics, all that kind of stuff. Like you got to focus on your world right now. I'll roll the dice after I pull the Astro card. Fourth house, Jesus, I just pulled that randomly out of here. Like you can't make that stuff up. Like what are you rooting into? That's all the focus right now, and it has to be your emotions. It has to be yourself. Like you can't root into everything that's going on in the world right now, Pisces. Like this is all about your inner world, and literally the moon, your inner world, fourth house. Like I can't make this stuff up. So stop, getting so caught up in everything outside of you. Make the choice to focus on your inner strength and see the beauty there. That's what this is all about. That's what 2021 is all about for you. So, you got to make that happen. And that's going to illuminate such an amazing and powerful path for you. And you can go out and make the career stuff happen. I'm not saying like you can't, but if you're just focusing on that, you're doing yourself an injustice. Mars, Scorpio, third house. Yeah, you need to understand and penetrate deeper into the understanding of what, you truly do want within yourself, what makes the most sense in your environment, which ultimately has to do with your home life, your inner world. This is bringing things together within yourself. And you want to act on the deeper emotions and like go into what in life is going to help you penetrate deeper into yourself. Not so much into the outer world, but like this is definitely I think you need to get really intimate with yourself. And not in like a sexual way, but like how are you truly feeling, and get comfortable there, and figure that out. I think that's going to help you a bunch, and that's where the truth is. And you being able to express your feelings, like express your feelings. You got to let them out. So there could be some intense talks. I'll be honest. There could be some intense talks that need to come out to have more emotional comfort and sovereignty and all that good stuff. All right, Cancers. We made it. We made it, Cancers. Last, but certainly not least. And, of course, Cancers are having that same as Caps. So I feel you. It's, that 12th and 6th house axis is a tough one for eclipses. Faith changes, anxiety comes up, reality changes. So you just had a lunar eclipse, of course, in your 6th, and like that could be the way you feel about your entire reality or daily life changing. And then the solar eclipse, of course, in your 12th house, like this is changing your faith. This is changing your understanding of your faith. It's a lot. It's deep hidden stuff changing within you that you got to like try and make sense of. I'm going to use the zombie deck for you, Cancer. Getting real. All right. Wow, that's so funny. 7 of Wands. I don't know why that's funny, but like I feel like it is for some reason. Like you got to stop fighting things in life. I think this is a time of surrender. So it's like, what does your heart really want? Like you need to kind of surrender. Like this is like kind of like like you do need to surrender, but I think you need to also pay attention. Like it can't just be anything. Like you got to make sure that the stuff that doesn't make sense in your reality anymore, the stuff that doesn't make sense in your heart, that doesn't connect you with the universe, those stuff just got to kind of fade away. And you got to surrender to where the true pull is. And, that's what makes this such a hard eclipse season for you. Ace of Wands reversed. Yeah, I feel like you're emotionally not ready to take the baton here. Like there's a cycle ending. There's new energy trying to change your whole daily life. And it's like, I feel like your Cancers are just like, do I go in that direction? Or, I mean, ultimately, I think if you get the strength to take the baton, and to go into the new direction and to like, kind of like, see what is out there. If you're, mainly in your heart too, I want to say, with this wand energy, like, are you expressing your true creativity emotionally, and are you surrendering to your true creativity? Is the creative juices could be flowing big time with so much in your 12th house here. Like where are you channeling your creativity right now? And the moon, with the 8, like I feel like there's somewhere you need to put your energy, and it's almost like you're putting it into something that is like too reality based with the south node in your 6th house, and it's like you need to be focusing on the more spiritual, creative side, more artistic side. Mercury, 7 of Swords. Yeah, this comes back to like, are you are you putting the work in for the right payout? Is your experiment going to pay off? So I think you've been experimenting with a lot of things. Um, like, are they the things that feel divinely aligned though? Do you feel like there's a universal pull that's making things work out? If things aren't working out, if your experiment is just backfiring over and over again, that's probably not the direction. And I feel like you're fighting a new direction, inwardly, of like this inner pull to go do something new and start something different. And it's almost like you're fighting it, or you need to surrender. So, I would say, like, if you're in an experiment right now, if you've been doing something, Cancer, and you're not getting the payout that you've been looking for, like, does it make sense? Does it feel connected? Does it feel like, it's part of the plan? Does it feel like you're using your creative talents to mm, Venus, the Hierophant? This is interesting. I think this does come down to faith. Kind of the Pope card. I don't like that it's the TV. Like, I don't know, Cancer. Like, are you paying attention to the TV? No, I think that, this is where you do find, the program of life that you want to live. So I think that you're getting serious about your right program. And I think that's what this lunar eclipse showed you too, was like, what's the program you need to be living that's going to make you feel better? So what's the daily routine? What's the schedule looking like that's going to make you feel grounded in here? And hopefully, you are experimenting with the thing that's going to pay out for you. So I think you're looking for the right payout, but it's got to be sort of surrendered. And, I don't think you want to block something new either. So, like, if there's old energy that's not paying off, I think this is where you find a new program, a new daily reality, a new routine, that makes more sense, and that actually does feel better, and that gives you something to, like, actually hold on to, that actually makes more sense. Like, hold on to too with the Ace of Wands. Nine of Wands, lot of Wands energy. So, this is definitely like, about you pushing the limits, I would say. So you got to push the limits of what you want to be creative about. So there's this surrender to, like, really change something. It's almost like you've been focusing on something that either is everything and giving you the ultimate reward, and you need to go into that and, be fearless in that. But if you're not, it's time to switch it up, push the boundaries for the new creative energy that's trying to come in. And it's very unseen. I think it's like hidden energy, and it's very like you just have this pull, and it's like, is your heart into it? Go where your heart's calling you right now. I think it takes courage too. So I think Cancer's trying to muster up a lot of courage to, like, change the program of their life in many ways. The abundance is the Two of Wands reversed. Yeah. Again, I feel like the abundance is like you have these two choices. This is more of that, like, choice energy, more wand energy. Like, are you choosing the one that's giving your heart the payout in life? That's the program you want to live, that makes the most sense, that's showing you some sort of payout. That's important. If you're not, the abundance is in the other option. So it's all, I feel like Cancers have been doing something and they haven't been getting the payout. And it's like the other option. There was another option. What was it? That was where the gift is. That's where, like, maybe the good experiment's at. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's like a little, like, not sure if you want to take the baton for the new story of, like, the reality that you can have. And I think you have to have, like, this blind faith to kind of go into that. And that's what this solar eclipse is kind of bringing up for you too, in that 12th house, is like a whole new understanding of the universal pull. And are you in that flow or not? Have you changed your reality up to match that? So, I, there's two choices to it, and it's like, don't think that maybe you didn't make the wrong choice. I feel like there's energy here that's like, you just need to stand up for what you know is going to give you the payout. So if you're already in it, that's okay. As long as you're surrendered, it's okay. Maybe you don't need to take the new one. Maybe that won't make you feel good. So there's duality here. And I think you have to ask yourself, like, what your heart really wants, and are you doing what your heart wants? And if you are, that's where the abundance is at. Saturn, justice reverse. So, yeah, if you're not getting the justice, that's like if you're so interesting, right? It's got the heart and the brain being weighed out. You know, if your heart is getting outweighed by your brain, I think that's a red flag with all this wand energy. So you need to like get serious about what the heart wants. And you know, in this, it does have the brain weighing more than the heart. So, which is interesting too with the 7 of coins. So, I don't know. I think that Cancers have to get back to like trusting their heart and not letting their mind put them into weird experiments that they actually just need to surrender and go into a new story and push that limit and have that courage to just kind of like surrender and trust. The abundance was probably in the option that you didn't chose. Like you probably had a chance to make a choice and like you felt like you made the right one, and now it's like it might be showing out that like that was just like the wrong decision, but you don't want to beat yourself up over it. I think you really want to like go into that surrender open to like, okay, it's okay, but don't beat yourself up and like get all in your head. You know, I think this is the justice was in trusting your heart. So if you trusted your heart, I think Cancers could be in a really great place. I'll be honest. I get that feeling too. We got 7th house, partners. Well, maybe it had to do with love the whole time, Cancer. Maybe it was all about the partner. Or maybe something, you know, maybe people are coming into your life to open things up or show you how to get into your heart more. So what's up with other people? Were the other people a good investment? Did you make the right choice and it came to partnership? You know, there's a lot of wand energy. Love was definitely here. Like, I think too, like, don't be foolish if you thought that there was a love story and it didn't work out. Like, you weren't foolish. You just tried to love. You tried to be in your heart. Like, you know, sometimes we learn a lot about our own heart and our own self through a love situation not working out. But Uranus, Virgo, 1st house. Well, this is definitely you liberating by, you know, changing your reality and having the courage to do it and defining that and, you know, just being completely, truly, authentically you. So whatever it is that like felt right with your heart, felt right with you, that was the right choice. And if you made a choice or picked apart something that wasn't that wasn't it. Like this was like you had a choice to make within your heart, and it's like, did you trust and surrender to what the heart wanted or not? If you didn't, I think you had to deal with like some duality or maybe some like, you know, other people stuff trying to show you, you know, that you made the wrong choice. Sometimes other people are just a good reflection to let us know that we made a wrong choice for a second, and that's, you know, okay too. So, you know, sometimes we disconnect from our heart a little bit too much. So interesting. All right, we did it. We did all the signs. Love you, Mark. Thanks for sticking around. I root for Cancers too. Rising or sun. All right. You guys are awesome. You know, I have such a low latency that I couldn't really stick around and talk to you guys in the chat, even though I'd like to. But I do want to say that I love you all so much. I'm so grateful that so many of you stuck around and watched this. And I hope that it resonated and gave you some sort of, you know, good feel for where things are going, or at least validated maybe some feelings. So definitely a wild time. We're in eclipse season. You know, in between eclipses is one of the most intense times. So, you know, what's changing, what beliefs are changing, what aspects of life are just going in a different direction. And I think, we're about to change our mind. That's what this North Node in Gemini and this solar eclipse in Gemini with a Mercury Cazimi, like this is the sun, Mercury, the moon, and Earth in alignment and square Neptune. Like there's a divine change of mind coming, and I think people are going to think they're crazy in some ways, and it's like, actually, no, like that is the truth. And where's it taking you? So pretty interesting time. We're going to change our mind about a lot of things, and that's good. That's life is change. And where's it going? I hope that it's going to a magical, beautiful place for you. And I'm so happy that you stuck around and joined me for this. I will see you 2 weeks from now for that solar eclipse, and we'll do another tarot show. And I look forward to it. And I love you all so much. So have a blessed evening. Have a blessed week. And if you do want to get daily horoscopes, join fixedairmoon.com for daily sun rising, all that good stuff. And yeah. All right. Love you all. Peace. I'm going to get over here and hit the outro.